Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to the Nintendo Select podcast. I'm your host, BoTalksGames, joined as always by the backlog bantering, Final Fantasy 16 loving, Tucker Hazel.
I've got a new nickname.
I think my plan with you each week is you're the backlog bantering, and then whatever game I know you're obsessed with at that time. That'll be like your subtitle.
Sure. Now I'm not obsessed with a different game every week. So I guess either it'll have to be the same game.
I considered doing Fantavision, even though that was last week.
Yeah.
Because that's funnier.
Yeah, it is funnier. Why don't we just... Tucker Hazel, the Fantavision loving...
The Fantavision loving backlog bantering, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That feels right. Oh, I'm feeling great. Honestly, I actually just got off another 2-hour long recording, so today's a big full day for me.
How do you do it?
I'm fucking
This is the most I record at all each week. I record like a 20-minute video every day, probably something like that. But
yeah,
I don't just sit at my desk for 6 hours. I can't do that.
I'm just a busy bee. I also am fucking head. But I also I have so many verticals of what I do for video production. I edit a podcast, which means that I'm sitting working on my computer. I edit our videos. I record this with you. I do movie reviews. I help my dad record his podcast. So I'm I don't know. It's just my life revolves around podcasting.
Yeah.
And even 2.5 years ago, I had never done a podcast, and now
that's weird.
It's kind of all I do.
You've only been
I've done
doing
YouTube videos. No, I've been doing YouTube videos, but I've never done one probably longer than 20 minutes. Yeah. So now that's basically all I do. I mean, whenever we upload a video, it's fucking long. And Jesus Christ, these are the longest videos I do.
Yeah. We aim for
We aim to please, Bo.
Yes. We go for that length, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
The
quality pleases our audience.
The quality's whatever, but the length, that's what the audience wants.
Mm-hmm.
You know? But now, how have you been doing outside of? You just told me you dropped water everywhere down your steps.
Yeah, God, I don't know. I didn't know how it happened. It was one of the things in slow motion, but I don't remember the inciting incident. I was holding my water bottle, I was holding my phone, I was walking down the stairs, and then suddenly my water bottle wasn't in my hand anymore, and it was bouncing down the stairs. And then this is my water bottle. I'm always drinking from it. It's iconic. Everyone knows it. But it turns out when this thing is full and bounces down multiple stairs and then lands directly on wood floor, this is pretty tight cap, but it doesn't like to be on once it's done all that. So it just came right off, and I stood there and just watched it. I was like at this point,
you just sat back. You were like, all right, this is happening. I can't.
Yeah,
can't really stop.
There's nothing I can do. I mean, I could have done something, but I was like, I can watch this play out.
It's kind of funny.
And it was funny that in the moment, while I was going down the stairs, I was holding my phone and it was unlocked, and I was just holding like this, and my thumb tapped on FaceTiming one of my friends, who I actually had not talked to in 2 weeks, so it was probably kind of random that they saw a FaceTime thing come up, and instead of cleaning up the floor like I probably should have, immediately I was like, I need to explain this to my friend Sam, so I took a picture of the floor being all wet, but then I fucked it up because I wanted the flash to be on, so I took a picture without the flash. I'm like, oh no, I gotta turn the flash. I took a picture of just my water bottle with water on the floor. I'm like, sorry, I accidentally FaceTimed you when I spilled my entire fucking water bottle directly onto the floor. So that's how my morning started.
At least it was water, you know? It could have been,
no, it wasn't bad.
Could have been some apple juice, something sticky.
I just gotta tell when I dried off. It's not bad at all, but...
Yeah. I once again stayed pretty busy with work this week. I just got home from the bins earlier.
Bins.
I always, because I look through the media looking for games and stuff, I always like to take note of how quick of a turnaround some DVDs have. So I remember last May we found Turning Red, and I was on DVD,
wow,
and I was
really quick.
that was a 2-month turnaround or something.
Yeah.
Something really quick. Found Black Adam today, which isn't the quickest turnaround.
No, that's not too quick.
But I just think it's funny because someone bought Black Adam on DVD. Yeah. And then within 6 months or so, we're just you can just give it to Goodwill. You know?
Now, what's the newest game you found? Do you have that information at the top of your dome?
It would probably be a sports game. We found Red Dead 2 a couple times. I mean, that's years old at this point.
Yeah.
Never found a PS5 game. Never found a Series X labeled game.
Yeah.
It would probably be an NBA 2K21 maybe, something like that.
Sure.
PS4.
You find Switch games?
One time I found Ring Fit Adventure, New Horizons, and then there was a bunch of other empty cases. But
yeah,
it's pretty rare. Same with there's this whole thing with DS games and how GameStop used to throw out cases, so you never find DS games in the case anymore. Because they just destroyed cases, and people kept them in like the little travel cases and all that. So we found a lot of empty DS cases. I didn't realize that was so prevalent with Switch as well. But it seems like a lot of people do that with Switch games as well, where there's just a lot of empty Switch cases.
Well, I think it actually makes sense with cartridges, and especially with portable systems, people want to take them with them. I keep all my cases. I'm not a throw away the cases guy. I think the worst offender is people who put their fucking discs in like one of those dumbass fucking binders. Whenever I would see those at someone else's house, even with movies, I can kind of get it. But with games, goddamn, what are you doing? But I have like a case that I carry my Switch in and a case that I carry my DS in, and I've got games in there. The ones that I haven't beaten, I keep with my system, and the one I finish them, I put them back in the case and I put them back on the shelf.
Yeah.
So there's a pretty easy divide there, but I understand it for portable systems. I don't recommend it. I look at those people with mild disdain, but I don't hate them as much as I hate other people.
Yeah. There was actually a first this morning though, because I did find a couple games. I got there was a hardened edition of Black Ops 3 with a steelbook at the fence. Cool. Pretty cool. Didn't have that, but also I'm not gonna grab it. There was a sealed copy of a DS game. Never found a sealed DS game before. Ooh. It was Jeopardy on DS. It's worth $3.
Sure.
I had to buy it though.
Yeah, of course.
It's sealed.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But the events have been good. And I guess we should do like the actual intro of the podcast. Of course, welcome to the Nintendo Select Podcast. Housekeeping stuff. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, listen to us there.
Yeah.
Always. Ask us questions in the Discord and on the community post I make every week. Not that many questions this week, but we have a couple.
Interesting point. I got a question. I got to question the intro. I got to question all podcast intros about this. Why talk about the platforms that you're on? Because the only way that someone someone hears that is if they're watching the podcast. And so they don't care what other platforms they're on. They're clearly watching it on some platform.
Well, as someone who doesn't listen to podcasts on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, I don't know what discoverability is like on those platforms.
Sure.
So like, I would imagine YouTube is going to be better at pushing it out just based on my knowledge of YouTube.
Fair.
So then maybe they click on it on YouTube like, oh, I prefer listening to podcasts on Spotify. I'll pull it up on Spotify.
Okay. All right.
I think that's fair.
Sure. I respect that. But I'm also just thinking, like, because like when I listen to a podcast, I find whatever platform it's on, and I stick there. Like I don't go searching for other platforms to listen to it on. I mean, I guess it's possible that someone else does.
I just use YouTube for podcasts. I don't mess with. I don't. Well, I'm also weird in that I like having video. I know. Yeah. I don't sit there and
even when you don't
look
look at it. Yeah, you can look down at it sometimes. Like, there are people there. Because usually, and especially when people do like a bit, like a physical bit, or they're like showing a meme on screen or something. Like, I want the option to be able to take it out of my pocket or like look down and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, oh, look at the thing in the background, or oh, the prop comedy. Look what I've got. It's like, that's not possible with audio.
I used to be very picky when it came to even just podcasts like this. I used to not like listening to podcasts where the people weren't in person. That's why I used to love Easy Ally so much.
Sure.
And it was around when COVID happened that I stopped watching them because they went to like the, work from home stuff, which obviously makes sense from the business standpoint. But I was like, there's like a certain energy that's lost.
That's sure. Yeah. There is
since COVID,
difference.
I've gotten over that. I'm fine with it now, but.
Yeah, I mean, I've only ever done a few podcast episodes in person.
It scared me, or not scared me, but like it surprised me when I clicked on your Zelda video the other day, and it was just like the wide cam of you and Abram.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, I forgot they're in person.
It's rare, yeah. And there is a different energy. I think the problem is our setups are none of our setups, your setup, my setup, Abram's setup, not designed for in-person recording, because the camera's not really great enough to be. Or my camera, at least, is not great enough to be farther away. So the videos are slightly lower quality. And we don't have, like, microphones that are separate enough to, like, capture two different people. So we just both sit kind of close to one microphone, which means that if you turn your head because you're talking to the person next to you, then it doesn't capture it as well. It's not established.
And the moment you introduce a second microphone, you have to like a mixer and everything. It's a whole thing if you're doing it in person.
Yep.
Which is like because you're coming to PAX, you just booked your flight and all that and your hotel. And we were thinking like, oh, we could do like an in-person episode. I don't know how we'll do that because my setup's here and then I don't have a laptop, so like it'd be tricky.
You don't have a laptop?
I don't have a laptop.
Interesting. Whoa. I didn't know.
I don't try. I'm not in college. I don't do that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
I've been thinking about a MacBook. Dabbling in that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. That's how the Steam Deck, though.
That is not a Steam Deck. I did not get the Steam Deck.
No! And Steam Summer Sale is over! No!
Speaking of superfluous purchases I don't need to make, Amazon Prime Day just happened. And I was so annoyed. This is just a random note about Amazon Prime. I love Amazon Prime. They're great.
Love Amazon. They never did anything wrong. Jeff Bezos is my king.
You get your shit like that day sometimes. Yeah, that's quoted by me. I bought an Apple Watch like 2 weeks ago, right? For just MSRP. It was $120 off on Prime Day. So I was like, okay, let me get a little adjustment here. I guess Amazon doesn't do price adjustments. So the customer support person was just like, just return it and buy a new one. And I'm just like, bro, I already set this up. That's fucking annoying. So
it hasn't arrived yet, is what you're saying?
Well, it's just annoying that they wanted to return the used one so I can then buy a new one for cheaper. Just give me like a gift card or something. So I got the new one. It's sitting over there. It just came in. But it's like, how is that more beneficial to that company?
Wait, why did you get a new Apple Watch? Didn't you already have one?
Right. Well, what I'm saying is it was on sale for Prime Day. And I tried to get a price adjustment because I just bought it. But the customer support person was just like, return the one you had and then buy the one for cheaper.
Gotcha.
Instead of just giving me a price adjustment.
Yeah.
It's annoying. I sound like a Karen.
I actually have a somewhat similar thing. I'm not going to try to get a new lower price.
It was $120, which was like if it was like any less than that, I probably wouldn't have cared enough. But it was like, that's enough. That's enough for me to care.
Yeah, but I got a 1 terabyte micro SD for my Switch OLED because I was downloading some games on my Switch OLED, and the largest SD card that I had in my original Switch was only 128 gigabytes, which is it's a lot of space. I don't get most of my games digitally. Most of the big games I don't get digitally, so whatever, not a big problem. I was having to like cycle things and delete things and archive things, but I was used to it, and I was like, I might as well get a 1 terabyte. Like,
that's
really,
huge, dude. Just for the
Switch.
It's
fucking huge. But I found one on sale for like $115, something like that, about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, sure, you know what? Like, it's a one-time purchase. I don't have to worry about this again, and then I basically don't have to worry about storage on my Switch ever again. Like, I can have everything in my library downloaded at once.
I have a 512, and I've had that for like 5 years, and it's not even close.
Yeah. No, I don't even know if I'll get close. But especially considering I do own so many games digitally, that when the day inevitably comes that the Switch eShop goes down, like the Wii U and 3DS ones, I'll just download everything I want. It's not gonna be a problem.
Dude, that's a scary day to think about.
It is.
There's so much.
We don't need to worry about that.
Yeah, not yet. 10 more years, please.
But the point I was getting to is that yesterday, Prime Day, people sending in your server, hey, look at all these fucking cheap ass micro SD cards, 1 terabyte for like $85. I'm like, bruh, I just got one, and honestly, my fault, I guess, because I didn't know about.
I forgot about it. I bought an Apple Watch and I was like, oh yeah, Black Friday in July. That's like a thing all these companies do.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to keep that in mind for the next time. Speaking of sales, as of like a couple hours ago, all the Final Fantasy games are on sale on Switch, except for the Pixel Remaster ones.
They're new.
But Final Fantasy VII, like $8. 8 is like $9. 10-10-2 was $25, and that was the last one for me to get. So I bought 10-10-2 on Switch, and so now I have every mainline Final Fantasy game on Switch that's not the Pixel Remaster.
How much is 9? Because I have 9 sealed from Play Asia, but I'd rather
$12.
I'd rather just keep it sealed. I know that's stupid, but I'll just buy it.
Actually, I can just check. I just sent that
because I was thinking I still need to finish 3 and 16, which we'll talk about 16 when we get to what we're playing. But
9 is $10.50.
Okay, I might even just have some gold points laying around. Like I'll just do that.
You think you have $12 of gold points?
I think I have like $10 of gold points. I think I have like 6.
Oh sure, so you can get like for $12.
It's like
yeah. But the funny thing about 10-10-2 is I bought those games already digitally when they were on sale on PlayStation like 2-3 years ago. But I'm like, let's be real with myself. I'm way more likely to play them if I got them on Switch. So I just like I fucking bit the bullet. But yeah. I've got all those goddamn Final Fantasies now. And
is Chocobo GP on sale?
It might be. Some of the spin-offs are. Not all of them. But
Tucker, I just had a great idea. I just had a fantastic idea.
Oh, Christ.
We should play Crystal Chronicles together.
No, wait, isn't that like a bad one? Isn't it, especially the remake?
Apparently the remake wasn't good, but I've heard good things about the original version, and it's a multiplayer Final Fantasy game. It's a co-op Final Fantasy game.
But if we haven't heard good things about the remake, that's one we'd be playing. So we'd be playing a bad game.
But it's Final Fantasy co-op. We should play it. It's a classic GameCube game, Tucker.
But we already have something very important to play in co-op tomorrow. So
we were talking about we were talking about playing something. We were talking about fucking playing Brink together, and you draw on the line of Final Fantasy, Crystal Chronicles Remastered.
Oh, we were talking about Brink.
Yeah, last week. Remember,
Jesus,
you're like,
Jesus,
obviously that's not going to happen, but
yeah,
we considered it. So you're drawing the line of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Well, I don't want to spend like $25 on a bad game. Like I got my copy of Brink for like $5.
We'll need to do some research. I don't think it's actually I think it was just like a not great I think there was like frame issues, which is like what the fuck. It's a GameCube game, but if it's just that, I think that might be the only issue. I could be wrong though.
Okay.
Not for 20. Don't buy it for 25 though. They released it in Japan. I have a Japanese copy. I don't know if it has English on it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, Final Fantasy. I'm still on that high. It doesn't feel like it's been a week since we recorded.
No.
In which that entire episode we just talked about Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do it again, honestly. I recorded a video. It hasn't gone up yet of me.
Okay, it's $12 on Switch right now. Crystal Chronicles Remastered. That's
on sale?
Not too bad. Oh god, yeah, it's 60% off. Oh Jesus. Oh Christ, bro.
How long to beat that thing?
It's still on sale for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
HLTB Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, this is under 15 hours. We are 100% doing it.
Oh no. Remastered. I spelled remastered wrong. 17 and a half.
It's right on the threshold.
Yeah, but HLTB is also fucked. Like, okay, so
I play games
spoilers
fast.
for what we're playing. I'm playing Halo 3 right now, and Halo 3, I'm like 80% of the way done with it, and I'm only 3 hours in. It's like a 4-hour game.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
And HLTB says 8 hours, and I'm like, what the fuck? What are you playing? Like every playthrough that I see on YouTube when I look up Halo 3 full game is like 4.5, 5 hours.
How long is Halo 2 a similar length? Because I played
Halo 1 and 2 are longer.
Yeah, I played Halo 1 a couple years ago. I want to play through all those though, because I played Halo 3 when I was a kid. I don't remember it being that short. But also I was a kid, so
I'm almost done with it. Like I know I'm almost done with it. So, and I've only been playing the last 2 days. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, I might go through those.
But what I'm saying is HLTV times are fucked.
Right. I think Crystal Chronicles, if we played it together, would probably be like 14 hours. That'd be around there.
Sure. Let me look up.
To do it.
Because here's the real solution. You look up Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered full gameplay. Yeah, full playthrough. And then if someone's uploaded a full video,
there's usually a full
no one. Oh, long play of Crystal Chronicles on GameCube, 12 hours.
Okay, then I think we can do it in 12 hours. Though.
Yeah, it looks like most people have it chunked
content.
up. So
yeah,
I doubt it. I have no idea. Bro, I have no fucking clue. All I've heard about Crystal Chronicles is that it was exciting, and then the people were very disappointed.
Well, I remember specifically it got delayed like 2 years for some reason.
It did, yeah.
like what the hell happened? We might have to do it. That could be fun. Because I haven't played any. Well, that's not true. I haven't played any I want to say more higher regarded spinoffs for Final Fantasy. I'm playing a Final Fantasy mobile game right now. It's fucking.
Oh, are you playing Ever Crisis?
No. I wish I was playing Ever Crisis. I signed up for the beta, but I didn't get in.
What is it, fucking Last Soldier? Isn't that one on?
No. We'll talk about it.
Okay, all right, we'll get there.
All right, let's go ahead and get into our quick news, Tucker. Not that much this week, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Now, Tucker, you DM'd me. I think this might be the biggest news of the week. This is crazy. I'm strapping in for this one. Game Builder Garage updated to version 1.0.2. John Cartwright quaking in his boots right now. With this little Switch update video. This is the first update for this game in 2 years. I just wanted to shout it out. I don't know why they updated Game Builder Garage in 2023. The patch notes just say several issues have been addressed to improve the gameplay experience. I wonder, are they
does not
do
specify?
Yeah. Now it is just it's not like a full version upgrade. It's just 1.0.2. But very weird. It's always weird to see Nintendo just go back to just some old game. I saw some funny Twitter comments of there's just been one guy in their headquarters just dying to patch this game, and they were just fine. Yeah, just go ahead and patch it. Fine.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, we were talking about some sort of game that got updated really late a couple years ago.
Wonderful 101.
A couple weeks ago,
which also got another update this week.
Did it?
Yeah, it did. I didn't put it on here.
Well, it wasn't an update to add that goddamn DLC. Or no, it was downloaded separate. Oh, fuck.
They released the DLC as 2 different waves, and they released the DLC standalone, and now they're just patching the main game. It's like they stopped developing Wonderful 101 for 3 years, and now they're just let's just start working on it again.
Yeah.
Platinum's they ain't got nothing else going on right now. You know?
I mean, do they have any games announced?
They have their, what's it, Project GG or something? They have their own self-published game announced.
Good for them.
Yeah. I think that might be it, though. This is why we're getting Astral Chain 2. next year, like 100%.
You think so?
I think so.
That's the
Maybe it's
official
Switch 1. So that's the Bo Diction right there.
Project GG is the only announced thing because they did work on.
Oh, they
16,
did 16 with them, yeah.
And obviously Bayonetta 3. Last year was busy with Babylon's Field, Bayonetta 3, and then Cereza came out earlier this year.
And Cereza was finished last year. We know that.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, actually, they really only make like one game a year max, and every other year, like usually. Unless the year is 2016, in which they developed Star Fox Zero, Star Fox Guard, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan.
Don't people like that one?
I have no fucking. I've never heard of this before.
It's the Transformers game. People like the Transformers game they made with Activision, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this one has looks like juggling around a 50 on Metacritic for Mutants in Manhattan.
Okay.
God, Platinum's fucking bizarre. What a bizarre company. This company that put out Bayonetta 2 and Nier Automata put out fucking Star Fox Zero. Yeah. What are you doing?
They're very hit or miss. I would say their track record recently has been pretty good, even with Babylon's Fall, because I think that game is decent.
Sure.
Most people aren't going to say that because they haven't played it, but they're very hit or miss. In this world of acquisitions, I think we're going to talk about Microsoft a little bit later. If Nintendo were going to acquire anybody that like doesn't exclusively work with them, I think Platinum would be a good buy because they make their best games when they work with Nintendo. It's not even close, and with the one exception being Nier. That's the one exception.
No, yeah, that's interesting because you look at, I mean, Bayonetta 1. I think the only non-Nintendo like games of any repute for them are Bayonetta 1, Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and Nier. But then the Bayonetta 2 and 3 obviously exclusive to Switch. Cereza obviously exclusive to Switch, and same with Astral Chain and Wonderful 101. And also they made Star Fox Zero, but we pushed that.
Maybe that's Miyamoto's fault. Crazy old Miyamoto. I'll do it again. His old Paper Mario Sticker Star antics.
Yep. How much was he involved in Pikmin 4?
I don't know. I saw what's the other Mario guy? It's Miyamoto, and then there's the other guy that's always like it was like in the Mario Maker docs. You know what I'm talking about?
I never watched the Mario Maker docs. Is it Koji Kondo?
No, not Koji Kondo. The other developer. I feel so bad. Apparently he was like the general producer.
Pikmin 4?
For Pikmin 4, like I saw people talking about it on Family Boards, and like that's weird.
Let me see if there's any information on Wikipedia about. Directors Yuji Kondo and Tetsushi Tsunoda. Takashi Tezuka.
Oh yeah. That's what I was. I can never remember his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel bad.
The motherfucker's been around the goddamn block. But yeah, producer on Pikmin 4.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
But Game Builder Garage, getting an update. Make sure you get it updated so you don't have any, any like maybe there's like a security breach or something, like someone's getting hacked through Game Builder Garage.
How many people do you think have played that this year?
Game Builder Garage
actually like launched that game and like put more than like 10 minutes into it.
It sold over 1 million copies, I believe.
Really?
So
Nintendo's so fucking crazy,
so.
man.
I don't quote me on that. I think it did because it was $30 to be fair.
Yeah, Game Builder.
Which is why everybody 1-2 Switch is guaranteed to sell 1-2 million copies.
Sales. Let's see if there's any information. Yeah, 1.06 as of December 2021. So I mean, it could easily.
I doubt it sold much more, but
yeah, but it might have passed 1.2.
I would bet.
Like that.
I think it's reasonable to think 20,000 people have played that this year.
That's great. That's a lot of people for Game Builder Garage, Bo.
I've had like a lot of like 12-year-old kids that are like really sciencey, like do the little science projects. Sure. I just love it.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a genre of child and parent that the parents getting kids like the little fucking chemistry kit or like the like balls that knock into each other.
It's
like,
pretty cool. I didn't play it too much, but just doing the
that's the kind of gift you get kid.
It's pretty intuitive design. I mean, respect to Nintendo for that one.
Yeah. At some point in my life, I will own a copy of that game.
It's cheap.
Yeah? Has it gone down in price? Or is it just still cheap because it was cheap always?
It was always cheap. I think you can probably get it for like $20-$25, I'd imagine, on eBay.
I'm not jonesing for a copy of Game Builder Garage.
I'm going to play Game Builder Garage for next week's podcast.
I won't, but
I see you typing it up on eBay.
Oh, I actually pressed up instead of down, and so instead of going Game Builder Garage, it searched Bob the Builder, The Big Game, DVD.
You could get that.
It's $6.70 for Bob the Builder Big Game DVD 2002.
It's a good deal. You watched Bob the Builder growing up?
I must have. Actually, a very interesting thing about like childhood cartoons is like things like SpongeBob and Teletubbies and Sesame Street. Like, I'm sure I must have watched them, but I have zero goddamn nostalgia for like I don't even remember shit about those shows. So like I also may have not and just like have gained that information through cultural osmosis. But like, did I watch Bob? No, actually no. I know I watched Bob the Builder. There's one very specific moment in Bob the Builder I remember. It's when they teach the kids. Well, they teach like the fucking tractors and trucks or whatever the fucking construction equipment he has. They're like sentient.
They have eyes. They have eyes.
They do have eyes. Yeah. From what I remember, I'm not the biggest Bob the Builder expert, but they teach those things, those fucking monstrosities, that in order to water plants, you have to pour the water on the ground so it soaks into the roots rather than the leaves and the flowers. I remember seeing that. I remember learning that plants drink through their roots through Bob the Builder. That's the only thing from Bob the Builder I remember.
You should start watching again.
No, I will not.
You should become like the biggest Bob the Builder fan.
No,
like, ironically.
God.
I grew up with a lot of like Nick Jr. Like Max of Ruby, my beloved. But most in terms of nostalgia, that's mostly like the 2010 era Cartoon Network stuff, like Regular Show and Adventure Time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because we're actually like cognizant human beings. Like, I remember when Uncle Grandpa came out.
I also unfortunately
at fucking
remember
elementary school, everyone was like, "Good morning, good morning." Me and my brother would do that around the house. My dad was like, "Shut up."
I remember Uncle Grandpa. I remember like the commercials for it while I was watching Adventure Time. I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, I didn't hate Uncle Grandpa. I remember watching the first few episodes week to week, which actually never happened for me. There's Uncle Grandpa and like this show where live action kids had to fight like video game tangential things.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I remember when that started, and I would watch that week to week. That's like the only things I've ever watched, like as they're coming out, and the Marvel shows on Disney Plus.
You watching Secret Invasion?
I have not yet. I'm waiting till it finishes. I'm just gonna watch it all. But
yeah, I can't.
But yeah, Bob the Builder, huh? Yeah. What about that? When's the Bob the Builder AAA game? Which team most likely to make a AAA Bob the Builder game, Bo?
What's the team that made the Harry Potter game? Is that not Harry Potter? The Shadows of Mordor people. Avalanche?
Oh, Avalanche?
Get Avalanche on it. Like
Monolith.
The open world. Monolith? Is it Monolith? It's not like that. Yeah.
Monolith made
Avalanche makes Just Cause. Yeah. Yes. Avalanche makes Just Cause.
Okay.
Well, no, it's fucking confusing. There's two different Avalanches, I believe.
And there's two Monoliths, technically, because we'll call Monolith soft Monolith.
Yeah, we'll call Monolith, yeah.
But there's another team called Monolith. God damn. Give Bob the Builder, give them the Bob the Builder IP. Give Monolith soft the Bob the Builder IP.
You know my favorite thing to talk about on this podcast is
Bob the Builder.
Pokemon Sleep.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. 2 weeks in a row. Keep the streak going.
Just wanted to mention it. We talked about it last week. They released that trailer. People have the open beta, or is it a seal? I don't even know if it's a closed, but I don't even know. But Cereby's been tweeting about it, covering the game. The Pokemon Go Plus Plus, still cannot get over that name, is releasing, I think, on July 14th. So probably by the time this episode comes out, or by the time we record next week, I'm assuming this will just be out completely. So just wanted to shout it out. Pokemon Sleep. They just, the open beta ends today on July 13th. So I would assume the full game will release within the next day or two. So we will be playing Pokemon Sleep, Tucker.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this because obviously I will be giving it a try. It's such a giant meme. Like I want to have some experience with it, but when it comes out, if it releases like say late next week, which sounds about right, I will be traveling with my girlfriend for the next like 6 days after that. Which means that
getting the worst sleep possible.
Well, actually pretty good when I'm sharing a bed. But she'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Why?" It's like, "Why is your phone still on?" It's like, "You don't understand."
I'm sleeping with Pikachu.
I'm catching the different sleep forms. I gotta get dozing Charmander, and I will have to explain to her what Pokemon Sleep is, why it's funny, and why I care. And I can't tell if I'm dreading that moment or really looking forward to it.
I think she'll enjoy it. Maybe she'll
I mean, she already thinks I'm kind of a dumbass for like half this stuff. That's an exaggeration. Actually, she respects me more than I expect. Someone in her situation.
She respects you more than you respect yourself.
Maybe. But this might push her the limits. It's like, Tucker, you're downloading a mobile game, Pokemon game where you sleep. That's that's next level stuff. This is next level stupidity for Nintendo and Pokemon.
You play games while you sleep, man.
Yeah.
We have too much of a backlog. We want to play so many games. Now they're designing games you can play while you sleep. It's perfect.
Unfortunately, that's just true. That's just accurate.
That's actually why they made it.
Yeah.
I genuinely hope I download it and I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. Like, I hope it becomes like a daily fixture for me for like at least a month.
Sure.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, with Pikmin Bloom, I actually used that for
I played that
weeks.
for
and obviously
like
Pokemon Go was a pretty consistent thing. I will be shocked if I care, but it's also not impossible.
I hope.
Because Pokemon is fucking a cocaine addiction for me. It's not good.
I want to be a Pokemon sleeper, Tucker.
My boy, look at the sleeper. You gotta get someone to take a picture of you like cuddled up
sleeping with your phone my dozing slow bro next to me.
Yeah. And that can be your new profile picture instead of the me that you have.
My girlfriend took a picture of me once. This was like a few months ago. I was
terrifying.
Scrolling Twitter. Yeah, terrifying. I was scrolling Twitter while like laying in bed, and I guess I fell asleep with my phone one, and I just the picture was me just like completely passed out with my phone in my hand, and I just coincidentally scrolled past like some person that posted like an anime girl. So it was just me sleeping with like a picture of an anime girl on Twitter. Pretty good.
My boy fell asleep looking at what he loves most.
I woke up, she was like, well, I need you to see this, and I'm like, oh no, what have I done?
That's really fucking funny.
Alright, this is interesting, and I want to talk about Switch sales momentum in general here.
Sure.
The Switch just saw its best ever sales in the month of June ever, in Japan. Sold 380,000 Switches in June 2023. That is 68% higher than June of 2022. I just want to kind of talk about this from the lens of people saying the Switch is slowing down, and how
it's factually not. It's numerically not.
Well, there's a lot like you gotta digest every region and all that. Is sales down year over year for when you take in like just lifetime like worldwide sales? Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of factors though that I feel like a lot of people aren't acknowledging. First of all, COVID happened, and sales were exponentially higher than they ever would have been otherwise. That is a real thing that you need to consider.
It definitely is. Yeah.
The other thing,
and actually, what interesting thing about the games industry exploding over the course of COVID, more people playing games than ever, buying games than ever, is a number of companies, and I think this is actually one of the biggest problems with Embracer Group, is a lot of companies bulked up their studios and their publishing houses and all the people that are working on their games to support how many people were buying their games and to match that. And now that's dipped back down, which is why there's so many layoffs happening, especially like late last year. A lot of studios have to keep laying off people because we're not maintaining that insane 2020 momentum. And so I don't know if it actually applies to Nintendo much, if at all. But that's just something to note of sales were higher, sales for everything. The industry was almost in a better place in terms of interest in 2020.
Consumer spending.
Yeah.
The stimulus
which is just naturally down as the world has returned to not everyone locked in their house playing fucking Animal Crossing for 6 hours a day.
It's the same thing with like PlayStation Plus numbers and Game Pass numbers.
Sure, that's true.
Actually, well, I think Game Pass might actually be up still because it's just gotten better. But PlayStation Plus specifically, I remember there was like a huge drop off in 2022 because people canceled it finally.
Yeah.
It's just interesting to see because I did another podcast with Andres Restart this week, and someone that was the one was talking about how the Switch is projected to sell 15 million this year, and Furukawa said they're not confident they can hit that. That's still more than the Wii U sold in its entire life. And while, yes, it is much lower than last year, which I think it sold 18 million in 2022 fiscal year, that's still pretty good. Like, I keep seeing people like use this as an argument for why the Switch 2 has to come out in April of 2024.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so, Chief. Is it slowing down? Technically, yes, overall. But also, it was such a big bubble. Yes. So, I'm not worried about it. Also, just want to point out, it did that in the month that a new Final Fantasy game released on the PlayStation. And the PS5 does not have shortage issues anymore. So if you ever need like a hint that console gaming is dead in Japan, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, well, not only Final Fantasy, but Street Fighter and Diablo. Like, every other system was getting major games. And they put out Everybody Went to Switch.
Yeah,
which did not help those sales figures.
Well,
which means that even without a new game, they can have incredible.
What's
sales.
crazy is I think I saw for the weekly sales because I think it's Famitsu. They track like weekly sales for games. The second week that Final Fantasy 16 was out, Tears of the Kingdom sold better than it in Japan.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I did hear about that. Yeah,
that's insane. Not to doom and gloom 16, but yikes. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's an issue of like the game itself being like more, action RPG or anything. It's just that market is not as
Some people have been doom and glooming it. That's
I know. And I will voice my disdain for that game, Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're ready. Cool. Speaking of financial stuff, I wanted to talk about this last week, but we had so much to talk about anyway. I just kind of glossed over it. Thought it was interesting from the earnings report from a few weeks ago. We actually got how much Nintendo execs make each year, and I just think it's very interesting. So let me run down the list here of like their top people. I actually don't know the name at the bottom here, so maybe we'll do some research here as well. Shintaro Furukawa, the president and CEO of Nintendo, makes $2.5 million a year. Damn. Miyamoto makes 2.02. Shinya Takahashi makes 1.61. Shibata, the Nintendo of Europe head, makes 1.19. And Ko Shioda makes 900,000. I'm not sure who Ko Shioda is. So let me actually do some research here. Ko Shioda, general manager of Nintendo's hardware department, as well as director and executive member of the board and senior executive officer at the company. So that's like their top execs. That is such a stark contrast to like Andrew Wilson at EA making like 60 million or Bobby Kotick making 100. Yeah. Like that is crazy. I don't know if that's the same for other, like, I don't know if like Capcom, I'm not even sure who's in charge of Capcom right now, but I'm not sure if it's the same for like Capcom or like Sony or just other Japanese companies, or if this is a strictly Nintendo thing. But like, yeah, 2.5 million is a lot of money. He's in charge of Nintendo.
Yeah.
I just thought it was interesting. That is so low. Yeah, it says right here, Bobby Kotick made 154 in 2020.
Jeez.
154 million.
Holy shit. Good God.
It's almost like when you pay your employees right, when you give, like Monolith Soft had this story a few weeks ago, they raised their minimum wages and all that. When you pay your employees right, you make better games, people aren't crunching, and the fucking execs are still making millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
It's perfect. God, 154 million is fucking insane.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, what the fuck? I just thought it was interesting when I mentioned it. And here we have just some news from Square Enix. They had their financial stuff here. Or maybe it wasn't even financial stuff. Maybe it was just because Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy franchise has hit 180 million sold across every game. Likewise, Dragon Quest has hit 88 million across every game. That's a big gap, but it's honestly less than I thought. I know Dragon Quest is huge in Japan, but considering how not big it is in America, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not a huge gap there. But Final Fantasy 16, I think, has sold, 3 million? So...
yeah,
probably
more than that by now. That was within its first.
That was first couple days. Yeah. So
yeah,
Final Fantasy gonna be hitting 200 million here in a couple years probably.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, this was just announced this morning. I thought this was interesting. So EA, of course, lost the license for FIFA over all that BS, and they're releasing EA Sports FC 2024. It's coming to Switch September 29th. It's actually going to have feature parity, Tucker. So infamously, FIFA on Switch has been this legacy edition. It was basically worse than like a 360 or PS3 version. It didn't have Ultimate Team. And most notably, it was not running on Frostbite, which is EA's like engine that they use for Battlefield and everything. Yeah. This EA Sports FC 2024 actually has Frostbite running on Switch, which is the first time that's ever happened, I believe. And it's going to have feature parity. It's going to have Ultimate Team. It's going to have all that stuff. Of course, we don't care about EA Sports FC 2024. We're not going to play that. Yeah. But it's interesting to see EA this late in the Switch's life actually try.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about the thing that tickles me most here about having Frostbite engine running on Switch is that, does this mean they might port other Frostbite games? I'm not sure how many other...
I mean, Madden, I would assume, has to come now, right? That'd be weird if it doesn't.
Is that also Frostbite engine?
I think all their games are not running on Frostbite now.
Engine games.
UFC.
Yeah, it looks like Battlefield. I mean, Mirror's Edge, Catalyst. That'd be an interesting part, Mirror's Edge. Mass Effect Andromeda.
The Need for Speed games.
Dead Space, Dragon Age.
We getting Dead Space remake on Switch?
I mean, they could port the original games.
Yeah,
that'd be fine. But no, I think that's the thing that most intrigues me. Because a more fucking sport game, but name changed. Actually, I am more interested in this FC game than I was ever in FIFA, because this is a major change, and we'll see if it actually impacts the sales of one of the biggest selling games per year. That'll be very interesting to follow. I don't care personally, but on an industry level, it's going to be. This is a point in history. I mean, you can imagine 15 years from now, we'll be like, oh yeah, you remember when it was called FIFA? That was weird.
Well,
bizarre.
aren't they making their own game called FIFA, like without EA? I think that's what's happening. They're
different FIFA game.
Yeah, it's gonna be called FIFA, but not developed by EA.
Sure.
I don't know if they
there's a lot of sports games changes coming.
Yeah, 2K has football. I think.
Yeah,
they have the license for NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, NCAA. Yeah, that's coming back.
Yeah.
MLB's on Xbox now and Switch.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It is interesting, and yeah, I'm very curious to see how the sales go. I do wonder. I know, having not played any EA Sports game in the past 10 years, probably. They do a lot of marketing, like in the game, like in the menus and stuff. I do wonder, like, are they allowed to market? Hey guys, EA Sports FC 2024 is the next game, or is it like some contractual thing where they can't say that within FIFA 23?
Oh.
Because I wonder if that FIFA audience like just knows, like, are they just in tune? They probably are. I think if you're buying Ultimate Team packs, you probably stay in the loop. I would assume.
Maybe, but I don't think.
But also, I don't know.
I think FIFA audience is probably the least likely to have people that are in tune. Because, I mean, FIFA, one of the biggest games every year, which means a lot of people who only play FIFA are playing FIFA. Which means that, are they going to show up and, in, when do these games release? Fucking October? I don't know, I'm just pulling out shit on my
September
ass.
29th is when this is coming out. It's usually September, yeah.
Okay. Are they going to show up to Best Buy or GameStop or Target or whatever and ask for FIFA? And then I assume that the employees will be trained and to say, hey, actually, the game is called FC. It's the same game, same company, but here you go if you want it. And maybe you think if you look up FIFA on like PlayStation Store or Xbox Store, it'll reroute to FC.
They put it in the tags.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I imagine the sales will be lower because I think there'll be enough confusion.
I think if FIFA, the organization FIFA, wants to like make a competitor, they messed up by not having a game ready this year. Can you imagine? Even if it's a much worse game, like they
also
it out.
Couldn't. Yeah, I don't know. They couldn't have developed it before the deal.
I mean, well, this has been happening for like 2 years. We knew about we knew about this a while ago.
Bo, I'm sorry, I don't remember this kind of shit.
You're lacking over here, man. But yeah, as far as this Nintendo podcast goes, I am pretty curious to see how the sales changed for this with the name change. But also the fact that Frostbite's coming, I think, is interesting sign that maybe EA is future proofing. For Switch 2, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And porting other things. I think that's definitely likely.
Yeah, which is nice because EA has
more big third party games. Sure.
Yeah, like EA's done like we got what was it, Most Wanted remastered or something?
The Unravel games.
Yeah, just Unravel 2, I think. The co-op one.
Isn't Unravel 1 on there? Am I?
I think it's just Unravel 2. Unless they release them separately, I'm not sure. But It Takes Two. They have catered the lineup. Yeah, they have catered the lineup to like what you would imagine like more kid friendly games. But yeah, also like.
Oh no, you're right. Just Unravel 2. Huh.
No Madden.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, Unravel 2 makes a lot of sense for Switch. Local co-op, and also the characters are the exact colors of the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con, which is very.
Have you played those games? They're actually pretty fun.
I played Unravel 1. I love that game. I think it's phenomenal. One of my favorite 2D platformers. Unravel 2, have not given it a try because I need to convince someone to play the fucking game with me. I might be able to do that for Tanner because he and I played through It Takes Two, as I talked about a couple weeks ago, and that's one of the best fucking games I ever played. So maybe I can convince him to get through Unravel 2 with me.
I think I played Unravel 2 single player. You can play it alone.
Is there just like an AI?
No, I think you like switch the character or something. Something stupid. It's definitely made for 2 people, but I think I played it alone.
I'm not going to play that game by myself.
Of course not. I wouldn't recommend it now. It was fun, though. I still enjoyed it.
Now, actually, question for you. I don't know how much information you have about this, but I've been putting off playing Resident Evil 5 and 6 because I know those games are designed for co-op, though they can be played in single player. Have you played those games, or do you know what the single player experience is like playing those games?
I'm in a similar boat where I played some 5 when I was younger, like when 360 when my brother got it. I probably played some co-op, but I remember playing it a lot alone. Never finished it. And I never played 6. But I'm in a similar boat where now that I've gone back, I've played 0 through 4. I want to wait until I have someone to play them with.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who would want to play them, but he has them on Steam, and it's not crossplay. So it's like this whole tricky thing.
I've got access to 5 and 6 on PlayStation, and I have 5 on Switch. And so if 5 is good single player, good enough single player, I think I honestly think within the next month I might just play.
I'm also scared of them because I know they're the longest Resident Evil games.
Yeah.
I think 6 is like 30 hours or something, which is just obscene. What? I might be crazy. It's like long, dude. Are you looking it up?
Yeah.
5 might not be as long as I remember, but I'm pretty sure 6 is like 25, 30 hours.
Even though 6 HLTV. 21 hours.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought.
Okay, and
that's still like low key pretty bad though.
No, but it's low key. It's low key like 2 or 3 times longer than most Resident Evil games.
Exactly. Dude, people shit on Resident Evil 3 remake for being too short. That game,
I loved it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Wait, you love remake too? I love 3 remake because it's just like sitting down and playing through a campy fucking horror action movie for like what 3.5 hours maybe.
As long as like you know what you're getting into.
Love that game.
Like I love a good weekend game.
Yeah.
Even Resident Evil 2, like Resident Evil 2 is longer, and I think overall it's probably a better game. But like, you still beat it in like a weekend. Like you're not. It's not much. It's not that much longer. So.
I mean that's true for most Resident Evil games.
The 3 remake hate is unbalanced. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I guess they got rid of some clock tower segment. I don't know. Go play your fucking PS1 version if you're that impressed about it, motherfucker.
Okay, hold on. Let me check on Resident Evil 5 real quick.
Yeah, that's definitely
12 hours. Whoa, okay. So they still about double the length going into 6. That's crazy.
Resident Evil's so interesting because people hate 6, but it's also like, I think it's the best-selling game still. Now it's not counting all of 4's versions.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of game sales research lately, mostly centered around Final Fantasy because when 16's sales data released. But I'm just looking at Resident Evil series sales. Let's see. Video game sales fandom.com. I love you. We're looking at 6 here. 6 has sold 12.
12 million?
Yeah.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Village has 8.
Oh, wow.
7 has 11.7.
Oh,
2
wow.
remake 11.2. So
I didn't realize they were
not
getting that up
different.
There. Did we have for 4 yet?
4 total or for remake?
4 remake, yeah, sorry.
4 total, all of its versions and ports, not counting remake, is the highest at 12.3.
Not by much though, surprisingly.
No, not by much.
Higher, yeah.
Resident Evil 4 remake 3 million. That's the latest.
It'll sell for the next 5 years.
Yeah, that doesn't. That can't be too recent.
That was probably straight up like it came out in what
first March? 2 days of release.
Yeah.
So
it's okay, like 6 or 7.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's way higher than that now, obviously.
Yeah.
Resident Evil sells really well.
Yeah. It is weird that they took that big gap after 6 just because of the critical reception, even though it sold really well. They could have easily just made Resident Evil 7 just another action game.
Sure.
And it probably would have done fine.
Now,
I'm glad they didn't.
Are you a 7 fan?
I love 7.
That game's so fucking good.
Fantastic.
I think that's actually my favorite one. God damn, it's a great goddamn game.
I don't know. 7, 2 remake, and 3 remake, I think are all like...
Yeah.
They're all pretty close for me.
Those are great options. Those are my favorites as well.
I love remake 1, obviously. And I actually am a 0 defender as well.
I've not played it.
A lot of people don't like it. I like
Billy.
Billy.
Be honest.
I like Billy
Village
and I like Rebecca.
Gets too much hate.
Village also gets too much. It's not as good as 7. But it's good.
No. And you know what? I got one thing that really holds these games back for me. Ethan Winters. I hate Ethan Winters so much. He might be my least favorite video game protagonist. I fucking despise this man.
Have you played the Shadows of Rose DLC? Because I still need to do that.
It's DLC.
Oh wait. Oh right. Yeah, you don't play DLC. Yeah. Even though it literally is just Resident Evil 9. Tucker. It finishes the story. There's different. It's a third-person Resident Evil game that's just separate, basically. Play Future Redeemed, you piece of shit. Finish 3. I hate you.
I got shit to play. I'm playing Alan Wake. I'm playing Connecticut. This is important.
Play good games.
Hey, Bo. Actually, you will be somewhat proud of me. I'm going back to a game soon.
Proud of Engage?
No, God. Final Fantasy VII. I played like 15 hours of Final Fantasy VII a couple years ago, but I'm gonna go back and actually finish that game. So, Bo, the fact that I'm playing Final Fantasy VII or I'm finishing it, going back to it, means I'm closer to getting back to Xenoblade 3 than I was before.
Keep chopping away at it. Well, I mean, I guess this is a good segue. We're already kind of talking about what we're playing. Let's go ahead and get into what we're playing, Tucker. You have a lot more than me, so I'll let you start. Tell me about Connecticut, Tucker. What the fuck is Connecticut?
So actually, I only played Connecticut on a whim because I heard it referenced in a Sacred Symbols episode I was listening to yesterday. I was listening to an older episode in which they were ranking all the PlayStation studios, first-party studios, which I found to be a very interesting topic. And one of the things they were talking about is how a lot of studios get shoehorned into certain IPs. You think of how many goddamn Ratchet and Clank games Insomniac made. Guerrilla now making a lot of Horizon games. But one team that you don't really think about being shoehorned is Santa Monica. Sony Santa Monica has been making God of War games since God of War. And they haven't done anything else since then. But they've also made 2 IP. God of War and Kinetica, which was their very first game. Which is a racing game, a motorcycle racing game, that kind of does actually proto Mario Kart 8 sort of things. It's like anti-gravity and you go on walls and ceilings and stuff. But the motorcycles are actually people in a motorcycle suit. They're like holding on to motorcycle wheels, and so like they can like spread their arms and legs and stuff and like do weird tricks. And also all their asses are showing at all times.
Is this a PS2 game?
Yes, it's a very early PS2 game.
Okay.
It's like a motorcycle with a person in the middle, but really the only thing you can make out is their butt. Like just like a fucking pale white slappy ass fucking sticking out of this motorcycle, and it's bizarre and it's fine. It controls well. It runs very well. The anti-gravity stuff is
it on
cool.
the PS5 like backwards?
Yeah, it's on the PS Premium Collection, which
cool.
is how I played it. But I'm not a racing game guy. I just was interested in it because it's like such a fucking oddity.
I never heard of it.
The God of War team made Kinetica. What the fuck is Kinetica? No one ever talks about this. And also the fact that it's just motorcycles with butts, like, it's a strange game. But, like, I played for like 15 minutes. I'm like, that's all I need. But I just like having first-hand experience with some of these because, like, now Kinetica will be in my mind. Like, if someone's like, can you... No, very fortunately. If someone's like, oh, weird PS2 games or, like, weird Sony first-party games, I'm like, do you know that the God of War team made... A, another IP, but B, it was a PS2 racing game, motorcycle racing game with butts? Kinetica. I have this information on lock now.
Sony Santa Monica's weird because I need to like do research on them. Because, yeah, they make God of War, but they also like do a lot of like in-house like nurturing of indie games.
Yeah.
So, like I remember
they
playing
published Journey.
Yeah, they published Journey. Sound Shapes, I believe, was also they published that, and I love that game. That was my first platinum. Shout out, easy platinum.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's a pretty fun game. It's a pretty fun game. At least I enjoyed it. That was like one of the first PS4 games I played. Mm-hmm. They did Flower as well, right? They published that, so I would assume so if they did Journey. Maybe Fat Princess. Like they used to, that's I view Sony Santa Monica as God of War,
also,
and then just a bunch
Warhawk.
of weird indie shit.
They helped with PlayStation All Stars, Starhawk, Escape Plan.
Oh yeah, Escape Plan.
Yeah, you're right. Fat Princess Adventures.
Yeah.
But Bound was kind of their last. Oh, and what the fuck is Here They Lie? I've never even heard of that. It's a VR game.
Yeah, I remember that. That was a PS3 launch game. Yeah.
They developed this actually. They might have developed this.
But it's interesting to me because they don't do that anymore. No. Now that God of War makes the big money, they don't do that no more. Yeah, they ain't got time for that. Mm-hmm. Says here you're also playing similar kind of note actually, Entwined from Pixel Opus.
Yeah.
You beat it?
I did.
It's like a 30-minute game.
No, it's like an hour long.
Is it? Oh wow, that's a big difference.
Well, I mean,
I also played this when it came out back in 2014.
Yeah, a long time ago. But regardless, yes, very short game. Pixel Opus's first game, published by Sony. Actually, I'm not sure if Sony. No, actually, no. Sony did own them at this point because they helped create the studio.
Right. This announcement was also the announcement of the studio. I remember they announced it at E3 2014. They were like, "Hey, we have this new team. They made this new game.
Yeah,
check it out." And it's out now.
Yeah. So like, this is just a forgotten Sony first-party game, and from a studio that only made 2 games, and now Pixel Opus is fucking dead. But I played Concrete Genie last year or the year before, and I like that game. Very cool game. Again, Sony first-party game that just people don't really talk about anymore. And I was like, look, Pixel Opus only made 2 games. I've played one of them. Might as well play the other one. And now I've played every game that Pixel Opus ever made.
The entire Pixel Opus catalog. Yeah.
No, exactly. And I find some of the weird fucking sicko bastard fucking pleasure in that. But Entwined is also a pretty good game. You play. It's a twin stick puzzle game, kind of, or twin stick action game, where you play as on the left stick a fish and on the right stick a bird, and you rotate the sticks to guide them through holes that are coming at you, and you have to match the colors. And it gets to the point where you're controlling the 2 sticks doing different things. Like one's got to do a curve, one's got to stay straight. Like it gets really complex. And And I like the game a lot. It's a beautiful game. It's got a distinct art style, very unique concept. The idea of using the two sticks sort of in different ways is very novel. But it's also a fucking hard game. I mean, again, it didn't take me very long to do, but to finish a level, you have to succeed at like 15-minute like little challenges in a row. And if you fuck it up, it like starts over and like your progress resets. And you gotta fucking do it. And so on the last level, especially the last couple of levels, I was just sitting there for like 15-20 minutes a piece. Like most of my runtime with this game came from me sitting there and be like, well, I fucked up one of these. Now I got to do a bunch of them again. Which just padded out the runtime. But other than it being unnecessarily difficult, it's just a really cool, simple, interesting.
It's a vibes game.
Yeah, it's
cool
a vibes
game. Very pretty game. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
absolutely recommend it.
Yeah, it's probably on PS Plus, I imagine.
That's how I played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're also playing Pursuit Force?
Yeah, let's finish up my random fucking games.
Weird random games.
Yeah, but Sony published. Actually, Sony first party games, because this is a game developed by a studio close to my heart, Bo. Big studio.
Oh, as you are the little Deviant fan on the podcast.
And they made very few games. But Pursuit Force, a PSP racing action game, was one of their very few games that they actually developed. You play as a cop in a city I think the city is called Capital City. There's just fucking crime everywhere. Shit sucks, and cops got to make a new fucking team, the Pursuit Force, which is cops that go in really fast cars and chase down criminals and jump to the criminals' cars, shoot them in the head in their cars, take their cars, and keep driving. And so Pursuit Force is, as I said, a PSP game where you're chasing down criminals, jumping to their cars, killing them, taking their cars, jumping to another criminal car.
They just kill the criminals. There's no chance for redemption here.
And Bo, I don't know if I actually have this exact quote, but this is what really made me crack up fucking playing this game. Oh wait, I don't have the quote. Fuck. Well, okay, but you have one mechanic ostensibly, the jumping between cars, but then you have a meter, and it's called your justice meter, justice bar. And you know how you fill up the justice bar? Killing and destroying criminals. And like the game instructs you like with that specifically. It's like, here's your justice bar. In order to fill up your justice bar, kill people. And I'm like, what the? This is such a fucking early 2000s thing that you could not do this today.
That's crazy.
But I actually thought it was really fun. It's a very, very, very hard game. The limits in terms of what you actually need to do to beat the level is like, if you fuck up even a tiny bit, you got to replay the whole goddamn thing. But from the few levels I was able to beat and play, I played for like 30 minutes, and I was popping trophies left and right, and it actually looked surprisingly good for a PSP game, sort of up-resed on the PlayStation 5. And I was having fun with it. But what I really want to play is the other PSP sequel, Pursuit Force Extreme Justice, which is not on the PS Plus collection, but it probably will eventually come. And as soon as that happens, I'm going to jump on that, because apparently they took the criticism that the game's too goddamn hard, and they made an easier Pursuit Force game. So I might be a huge Pursuit Force Extreme Justice fan once that game gets added to the PS Plus collection.
I don't think I've played any PSP games on PS Plus yet since they started adding them. Do they have like any rewind features, or is it just like a native PS5 like version without that kind of stuff?
I think they do. But I didn't try.
Well, actually, I don't even know if it had a rewind. I know it had save states though for PS1 games.
Yeah. No, there's rewind.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This Switch Online is so snappy.
No, there's definitely rewind, because I was playing Intelligent Cube early when the service launched, and I was rewinding the fuck out of Intelligent Cube.
God damn it! Now, not to distract from the games, I gotta address the elephant in the room. What'd you do to your left hand, Tucker? You got carpal tunnel?
I have always had carpal tunnel on both my hands, actually.
Oh wow!
I can't hold a pencil for more than like fucking a minute and a half. And it's never been a problem with playing video games. But maybe it was just how much video games I've been playing.
You've been gaming too much Pursuit Force Kinetica? You've been going too hard this week, man.
But yeah, this muscle here, like, I don't know. It's just... And
my hands get twitchy.
Unfortunately, the solution, I think, is to not play as much video games. And unfortunately, the reality of like the last few days is that I've been playing like 6 hours of video games a day. So I'm probably not making it better.
You need to like take a break, play some mobile games, something like that.
Some like one-handed
Yeah, it's like someone or like get like a mount
It's only
for,
this
like,
hand though. I don't know why it's only this hand because usually it's both hands. But yeah, I have very bad carpal tunnel.
When I was playing just DS and 3DS every day as a kid, I actually had one of those like little braces things because my hands would just cramp up so much. I don't know if it actually was like carpal tunnel, but they would hurt. So I'd be like, "Fuck, man." My grandma had like one. She was like, "Here you go, you can use this." And I was like, "Okay." I don't know if I actually had anything, but my hand hurt. So I was just fucking on my 3DS doing Mario Kart 7 Toad Circuit time trials 10 hours a day.
Hell yeah! Oh hell yeah! Yeah, but I've been gaming too much, and I think that's the genuine truth. I literally hurt myself gaming.
You're also playing Alan Wake.
I did. I beat Alan Wake. I beat Alan Wake Remastered.
Oh, nice. How long is it? I want to play that, but also...
It's basically 6 hours on the dot, because there are 6 episodes, broken down to 6 episodes, which doesn't really matter. It's just kind of like you finish a chapter and it says end of episode 3, and then it gives you a little recap.
That's interesting because Quantum Break was like really focused on TV. Like as like a selling point to its detriment.
But each episode is like almost exactly an hour. So it's basically a 6-hour game, like on the dot. But yeah, so I played Alan Wake. Because Alan Wake 2 was coming out, it's a very anticipated game, but also because I had never played any other Remedy games other than Control, which is one of my top 15 games I've ever played. One of my first platinums. I'm fucking obsessed with Control. I'm gonna scream and jump out a window when I see fucking Control 2 announced.
Well, it's already announced, isn't it?
It's announced, but actually revealed. Yeah, we haven't seen anything about it.
Too much of that these days. Being like, we're working on a game.
Yeah,
we're working on it. See you in 6 years. That's been happening a lot recently. Yeah. EA last week announced a Black Panther game. I was like, what the fuck?
They did. Yeah. But it's not. It's different from the other Black Panther and Captain America games.
That is a different game. Also, we're getting 2 Black Panther games.
And also there's an Iron Man game, I believe, that was like half announced.
From Dead Space Team? What are they called?
Sure. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I hate this, Tucker.
Do you want me to look it up?
Please look up Dead Space developer. I'm going to hate myself. They made the Star Wars Squadrons game also. Volition's gone. It's not Volition.
Oh, wait. Dead Space. This is the franchise. I don't... Games? Dead Space. Hold on.
Losing my mind. I'm losing my mind.
EA Redwood?
No.
That's who made Dead Space.
The remake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant the original game. Dead Space remake.
Motive. Yeah, they're making the Iron Man game.
Untitled Iron Man game, TBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motive. Yeah.
But what the fuck was I talking about?
Alan Wake. How you liking Alan Wake?
I liked it. It was pretty good. I think that it loses its own charm about 2/3 of the way through because Alan Wake is a very simple game. You have daytime segments and you have nighttime segments. Nighttime segments are the combat. It is you going through the woods with a flashlight and guns, and you fight these sort of shadowy... Well, yeah, actually, you do. Yeah, you do fight a couple.
I know. I remember watching my brother play
tractors and stuff. You have to shine your flashlight at these shadow creatures and or objects like tractors to stun them, and then you can do damage to them with your gun. And that gunplay is actually pretty solid. I like the idea of putting the flashlight on them first and killing them. It feels very snappy. It actually, in some ways, is kind of like The Order 1886, a game that is very simple gunplay and combat, but that I found very satisfying, like surprisingly so. But it doesn't. It's just that same game, like combat for the entire game. Like it doesn't really spice things up, which means that by the last chapter of the game, which is a lot of combat, I was like, God damn, just fucking let this be over with. And the story is solid. It's sort of Twin Peaks, Silent Hill, David Lynch, Hitchcock. A writer guy goes to a small town and has to figure out what's going on because his wife got fucking kidnapped, and also whatever he writes comes to reality, and like it's a fucking whole weird thing. But it gets really convoluted at a certain point, and by the end of the story, I was like, I have no idea what happened. So it's a good game. And I'm excited to see what they do with Alan Wake 2, because not only that is that leading into the horror stuff, but I think that they're a more experienced studio now, and so I think that'll be better storytelling, and also better modern controls and better environment design and stuff. But as it stands, like, yeah, it's a good game, and I can see why people like it's definitely very distinct. So I can understand why people like saw it as a cult classic. But it's also tied into the the Remedy interconnected universe. The Alan Wake and Control are in the same world. So as a big fan of Control, I wanted to play Alan Wake so that when I'll Make 2 comes out, because it is still in that same universe, I'm following the story. But it's fine. I don't strongly recommend it, but like it's good.
I have it on PS5. I would like to play it at some point.
It was also just added to PS Plus.
Oh great! I wasted my money.
Yeah.
I've learned at this point, if I'm not like playing a PlayStation game like immediately, I should not buy it, because now that I have like the Ultra Premium PS Plus collection, half the shit I want to play eventually is on there already. So I've not been buying PS5 games basically.
Good.
Unless it's like Final Fantasy 16 or Street Fighter or Diablo.
Yeah.
Basically every game that's come out this month.
Yeah.
Or last month. So basically maybe I haven't been better about it. But I would like to get to Alan Wake eventually. I've been so JRPG pilled recently though. I kind of just want to keep on that train.
Dude, good. Do it.
Yeah.
Badass.
I gotta milk it while I can. Let's get through the rest
of
of your
JRPG?
No, let's get through the rest of your games. And then
okay.
We'll end on 16. We'll end on 16.
Sure. Well, why don't you talk about your other games first? I just want to break it up a little bit. I've been talking a lot.
Well, one of them's Final Fantasy, and the other one's I've been playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 again. It's dog shit. I don't have much to say about it. I just wanted to throw it up there. They added a new map to Warzone. It's not very good. They're adding a Nicki Minaj skin.
Really? Wait, what? What?
That's data mined. Data mined.
That's insane. Nicki.
There's no pictures of it. There's no pictures of it.
Damn! Fuck.
I know. But yeah, apparently Nicki Minaj is getting added to Call of Duty.
That's crazy.
I will
do that
say
with many celebrities. No, I'm not super into this.
Okay, so like Snoop Dogg's always been one they just add for some reason. They always get Snoop Dogg in there ever since like Ghosts. Not every year, but they do it pretty consistently, like voice packs and stuff. And then with Cold War specifically, they did a lot of like crossover stuff. I think Ghostface was in Vanguard. Some horror theme stuff like Predator, that kind of thing. Rambo was in Cold War, I believe.
Oh, I remember hearing about that actually.
Yeah. But with Modern Warfare 2, they've been doing a lot of like athletes, like Messi, and like a bunch of like FIFA, like soccer motherfuckers are in there. Although this is more like what they just added feels like a Cold War update. They actually have a boys crossover, the boys in Warzone. Mm-hmm. So not only can you get your Starlight skin, your Homelander skin, all that shit, you can also get boys superpowers in Warzone, which is kind of goofy. You can like teleport and shit around in Warzone. Kind of funny.
That's a pretty big update.
Yeah, it actually is. It reminds me of like the early seasons of Fortnite, where every season is just some new crazy thing.
Yeah.
I haven't played around with it too much because it just came out yesterday.
Kratos and whatever. Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
Yeah, skins are weird this year. But I actually do want to say on the topic of Call of Duty, I don't know if it's related to the Activision Blizzard deal, which we'll talk about later, maybe going through. They actually went back and fixed the matchmaking on all the 360 games. You could not play Modern Warfare 2 2009. You could not play Black Ops 2 online. You just could not find matches. It was basically impossible. You could, but it was unlikely, especially in those like the original Modern Warfare trilogy. For some reason, yesterday they pushed out updates to all of those games, and you can actually play them now without issue. There might be hackers, but you can actually get in the lobbies. There probably is hackers, but you can actually get in the lobbies now, which is pretty huge, especially because I have to imagine this is related to these games probably coming to Game Pass. In the near future.
Sure.
There may be deals for the next year or two where the new game can't come to Game Pass.
Probably.
But if this Activision deal closes within a week or something, by the end of the year you will have all these old Call of Duty games on the Game Pass, guaranteed.
Cool. Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
I'm glad they went back and fixed those because I always like to go back and like just mess around, just kind of see.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who's very experienced with Call of Duty multiplayer, whereas I'm experienced with Call of Duty single player, but have basically never touched the multiplayer. I think that the game's coming to Game Pass on modern hardware and with accessibility, like easy accessibility for online play. That's something I'm super excited to give a try because, I mean, you can imagine if Call of Duty, if Modern Warfare 2 or Black Ops 2 or whatever come to Game Pass, the online communities for those games will be completely reinvigorated. And suddenly, something that I probably would have never had a chance to otherwise will be that I might be able to try to recapture some of those quote-unquote glory days of Call of Duty online multiplayer that people have so much nostalgia for, specifically because they could come to Game Pass. So yeah, I like that. Now, Bo, again, you're the fucking Call of Duty head. Why haven't they announced this year's game yet? Isn't it supposed to be Modern Warfare 3?
It is being developed by Sledgehammer, which is very disappointing. Just disappointing across the board. Because originally the rumor was it was going to be expansion, and then they were like, "Well, wait a second, money." Now, to be fair, they never announced it was going to be an expansion. They never announced that Modern Warfare 2 was going to be a 2-year game. But every rumor indicated that. And as I think I said a couple weeks ago, they've never released like the same sub-series back to back before, and that's what they're doing here. If it is Modern Warfare 3. So that's what supposedly what's coming out this year. Ever since 2020 with COVID, though, they wait until like August, September to announce it. They will announce it probably. I wouldn't be surprised if it's announced like the week before Gamescom, maybe, so that they can have a trailer opening night live, and then they'll probably have like a beta in September and then release October, November. They do very short marketing cycles, which to be honest does make sense because they want to keep selling Modern Warfare 2 as much as possible.
Yeah.
The moment you announce a new Call of Duty game, it's like okay, no one people are just waiting for that, you know. So yeah, Modern Warfare 2 kind of dog shit, but it's fine.
I enjoyed the campaign.
I didn't. To be completely honest,
no, a lot of people didn't.
I am a COD campaign enjoyer. Have you played Infinite Warfare yet?
No.
Oh my god, easily the best one.
Other than the the newer Modern Warfare games, the newest Call of Duty I played is Black Ops 2.
Okay, not a great one. Not a great campaign. Love
Black
Ops 2 to death.
Fine. What the fuck?
I Black Ops 2 and 3 campaign, not a fan.
I have a review of that campaign sitting on my desktop that me and my friends Andrew and Daniel recorded in fucking March. I just have not put it up. I haven't even edited it yet. Yeah. I think I have an overlay on it.
But Infinite Warfare campaign, great. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2019 campaign was good. Cold War campaign was fantastic. I liked Cold War a lot. Vanguard wasn't great, and then Modern Warfare 2, they tried doing like too much gimmicky shit. Like,
I like the crafting stuff. I like the...
Nah, bro. I remember there was a mission. I think it might have been the last mission where like you had to like defuse a nuke while running away from some soldiers. You had to like craft stuff and like hide through vents. Yeah. I was very irritated, very annoyed. I did not like it.
I like that mission.
It was cool in 2019 when they had like the one mission where you're like breaching through the house. Like that was cool. That was like the trailer, like the game, or like the mission they announced the game with. Yeah. But outside of that, Modern Warfare 2 and 3, like the action movie set pieces, World War 3 shit, pretty good. I like that.
Oh, I love those. Yeah.
That's those. Good. The set pieces. That's what I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Call of Duty. I will. I'm always off in one.
Yeah. Now, tell me what Fatab is.
Well, I want to save that because it's Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Oh, we'll save that. We'll save that for 16. That's why I was like trying to wait, and then you were like fucking rushing me, Tucker.
Well, no, but I like hearing your fucking sweet, sultry little voice. You know.
Yeah. Well, keep telling me about your games. You finished Zelda.
I'm gonna hide. We're gonna talk about that one next week when I beat it. Yeah, The Legend of Zelda. We talked about this last week. How I had played about half of it at that point. That I wasn't enjoying it, and I wasn't sure I was going to go back. And unfortunately, unfortunately, I did. I finished the game. I really don't like this game. I think there's basically nothing for me to like about this game other than iconography, music, I guess. Like, I like the Zelda soundtrack, but it's just obviously been done better in other places. I think Zelda was fucking dog shit. I'm not gonna lie. The exploration is so goddamn obtuse, and intentionally so. But even with the guy I was talking about last week, there's no good way for me to experience this game. I was doing the better way, but it's not good. No way is a good way for me. But I think what really ended rubbing me the wrong way by the end of the game is not the exploration, is not the fact that I had to play it with a guide because I wouldn't have had any fun otherwise, but is really just how poor the combat is. Especially when you don't have your Master Sword laser at full health. Every piece of the combat I found to be clunky and frustrating, especially when you get to the later dungeons where they just throw you into a room with 12 fucking guys and half of them have a ton of health and...
Get good.
No, it's not fun. Why would I want to get good when it's not fun? Because these guys can come... The fucking projectiles can come at me from any angle, but I can only face one of 4 directions, and my sword only goes out one tiny fucking spot in front of me, so by the point that one guy's coming up in front of me, if I have space to hit him, there's someone coming up my fucking ass. I think that the combat does not fit this game at all, and it made it such a slog and such a frustrating experience to get through. I think it's genuinely incredibly bad, and I think that somewhat extends, though it is better in Link to the Past, which is a game that I like, but I don't love. But I think the combat is also the worst part there. But I really just think
Link to the Past combat is not great. That's like
it's better than NES.
Oh yeah, no, it for sure is, but it's also still dog shit.
Yeah,
considering people say it's the best 2D Zelda, which is not even close to the right opinion.
The thing that I think makes the combat a lot better in Link to the Past is that you have a sweet, like your
it doesn't work very well.
I didn't say it did, but it's It's better. I think the fact that you only have a
Sure.
shitty little stab in this and arrows, to be fair. I have a bow and arrow, but it uses a goddamn rupee every time that I use an arrow, which makes the economy terrible. And not only that, but the economy is already terrible because the important items like the bait and the ring and the fucking all the things you actually need to like get through the game cost like 100 to 250 rupees, which is like your entire inventory's worth of fucking rupees. So you gotta sit there and fucking grind, which is not fun. And then you have to spend your entire inventory on that. And then once you're in a dungeon, you're almost out of rupees because you had to buy the 250 rupee thing. And so then you can't really use arrows, which were the only thing going to make the fucking combat anything bearable. And you don't want to use bombs because the bombs are important to get through the goddamn walls, which are actually useful exploration. So you don't use them for combat. So this game is, I think, just a terrible unsynergy of gameplay elements when it comes to actually interacting with the game on a moment-to-moment basis. I gave the game a fucking 3 out of 10. I think it's easily the worst Zelda game I've played, and I didn't like it at all.
I will refute most of the individual points you made. However, and this is kind of what we talked about last week, I played this game when I was very young on Game Boy Advance. So I think for me, it's easier for me to like look at its individual values as an NES game,
sure,
and appreciate it more than you did.
Totally fair. And that's where most of the stuff comes from. I don't deny that if this had been a more formative game to me, instead of playing it after playing 7 other Zelda games and hundreds of 200, 300, 400 other games with similar combat, that just a worse version of it is a worse version of it. You have less options, and the combat is not, I think, not tailored to the amount of enemies that are on screen and the attacks.
They definitely throw just a way too many, like, I don't know, they're not Lionel. Are they Lionels? Are they Lionels?
There are Lionels.
Yeah, they just start throwing Lionels.
It's the dark nuts that really frustrate me.
And the dark nuts, yeah.
Yeah, because you can only attack them from...
There's like 15 rooms, or 15 in one room.
Yeah, and then there's the fucking like mummies and the keys, and they throw them all in there, and there's just like these electricity ball things.
The choo-choos? Choo-choos.
No, are there choo-choos in Zelda 1?
I think that's what those are. I've always just called like
they're like electricity balls.
Like little Jello boys.
No, they have a different name. Because I was looking at a guy, they have a different name, but they don't damage you. They like stun you, and so then you can't use your attack. So they'll throw you into a room with, and these things can't be killed. So there's these fucking electricity things that are stunning you and making you can't do your attack.
Oh, those! I thought you were talking about the little jelly.
Oh,
there's like a little jelly enemy. I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
those are kind of like choo-choos. Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that the enemies are not tailored to the combat, or vice versa. Which is, I think, the game is impressively designed for its time, but through the lens of game design with more knowledge, I think it is poorly designed in that regard.
Okay, I won't dispute it. If I like put it on a tier list, it would probably still be like D or C rank. So sure. I'm not gonna go up the bat for Zelda 1, although I do like it. I would love to hear your thoughts on Zelda 2 though, because I don't think you'll like Zelda 2 either, but I think you'll probably like it more. It is very obtuse though, arguably more obtuse than Zelda 1 in a lot of ways. Yeah. So I would love to hear your thoughts on Zelda 2. I do think it's a better game though. And it says here, finally, a game I fucking adore, Tucker. I've never really had an outlet to talk about Eco, and it's been like 10 years since I played it, so I need to replay it because I don't remember a lot from it. But Eco, you played and beat Eco.
I did.
Very good game, Tucker.
Yeah. Now, I played Shadow of the Colossus on the PS3 collection 6-7 years ago. At this point, I love Shadow of Colossus. I remember sitting there at fucking E3 2017 at Sony's conference when they show the goddamn bridge. I'm like, oh my fucking god! Oh, Shadow of Colossus remake. Never played the remake. I'd like to at some point.
I never played the remake either.
It's not a high priority. I've heard nothing but great things about it. And Shadow of Colossus, excellent game. World design, how unique it is, just everything that Ueda does, no one else is doing. I played a little bit of The Last Guardian, either early this year or late last year, and I thought it was fine. I thought that, unfortunately, Trico not listening to you was frustrating enough for me to be like, okay, I got my fill of this. Also, a much longer game. That's a much bigger game than the other.
I still need to go back and finish that. I liked what I played, though.
But I also have... this is not my first time playing Eco. I played a little bit of it right after I finished Shadow of the Colossus on the PS3 collection. And I didn't like it back then. But it's one of those games that now with my experience being more experienced with games and being more interested in the art form and especially distinct creators, Ueda being one of the most distinct ever video game creators, I was like, I need to give Eco another shot. I downloaded it on PS5. It's free through the collection. I didn't download it. I streamed it because it's a PS3
Okay,
game.
I was gonna. Well, it is a PS2 game, but I don't know if they have it on
only the PS3 version is on there.
Okay.
It ran totally fine. I had no problems with it. The streaming fine. And I sat down and I was playing it and I'm like, okay, I'm not running into walls I felt like I wasn't making progress. The first time that I played it, I don't really remember why. It was a long time ago, but I was making more progress. I was understanding the physics a little bit better, and I was getting into the vibes of the world. And I was listening to the soundtrack on my spare time, and then I beat it in like 2 days, and I'm like, this is one of the best fucking games I've ever played. Eco, I think, unlike Zelda, but actually in a similar way, has incredibly simplistic combat. It is you and a stick/sword, depending on which one you're holding, and you go.
You're backing him away.
This fucking kid just fucking swings his arm back and forth. But I think the enemies, unlike Zelda, are much more tailored to this combat. The simplicity of it and the simplicity of the enemies match each other very well, and the puzzle in the combat ends up becoming making sure you're hitting the enemies that are closest to Yorda so they don't take her to a fucking little hellhole and suck her down. And I adore everything about Eco. I think that it is such an interesting game because playing it in the order that I did, I was able to find so much inspiration to games that I like coming from Eco. And this is actually something that I didn't know until I was doing more research about how influential of a game Eco really is. I mean, you talk about The Last of Us, the dynamic between Joel and Ellie being inspired by the dynamic between Eco and Yorda. You talk about Uncharted being inspired by the climbing sections in this game. You talk about the interconnected map of Dark Souls and Bloodborne being inspired by Eco. You talk about the simplicity of aesthetic being inspiring Journey. Guillermo del Toro likes this game. David Cage likes this game. Brothers of Tale of Two Sons, Joseph Fares, a Hazelight, he likes the game, inspired that game. Eco is such an interesting piece of like gaming literature because it has perpetrated itself and its elements to all sorts of different equally important and influential games, but they are in a core that nothing else feels like. No one else does environment design like Ueda, vibes like Ueda, and I usually find when I go back to an older game that's inspired new stuff that it feels lesser than because it was the start. But Eco, I think I don't feel that way about at all. It feels very distinct from what it inspired, and still distinct from basically anything else that anyone has been making. I adore Eco. I think it's one of my favorite games that I've played this year.
Yeah, I would love to revisit it if they do a remake at any point.
Yeah.
I played it in the order there early, so I played Eco first, and then I played Shadow of the Colossus. These are my top two PS2 games back to back. I think I do like Eco more though. Shadow of the Colossus is fucking breathtaking.
Yeah.
And incredible, but I think there's something about the tone of having Eco and Yorda, and just you're holding her hand, pulling her through. It's just the vibes, the atmosphere. It's ominous when like the shadow motherfuckers show up. This game is really special, and you're right. I never thought about it that way. The DNA of this game is seen in pretty much every modern Sony game.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. Even down to like the world design. You're right. It does kind of feel like From Software world design, where like you see an area later on. This game's incredible. I can't speak too much on it because it's been so long since I played it. I played it when I was like 13, but I'm getting chills thinking about it, dude. Actually, I'm actually getting chills. Eco is. I think I actually might have made a video on it when I was like 14. I think I might have.
Please tell me it exists somewhere. Please.
I know, Tucker. You want me to? I'm private on my videos. It's not happening for you.
Please, God.
But yeah, Eco is really good. And I remember when Last Guardian was re-revealed, because I think it was probably like 2014 when I played them on the PS3 collection, and at that point Last Guardian was MIA. And I had not really heard about it that much until a few weeks. I actually like learned about and like researched Last Guardian like maybe a month before it was re-revealed. So when it got re-revealed, it's like, oh, I didn't have to wait that long, but holy shit, it's back. And I was so excited. I got the special edition for that game. Never finished it. I still need to finish Last Guardian, but from what I played of that game, it was also, I really liked it, even with Trico being a little shit.
Yeah. No, it's definitely something, I liked it as well. It's definitely something that I need to give another shot, especially now that I've given Eco another shot. I mean, a week ago, I would have said, yeah, Eco's fine. It's a very distinct game, but like I don't know, it's not for me. But I revisited it and I really gave it a shot, and I adored it. I think my only flaw with the game might be, even though I like the sitting down on the couch to save thing, and those being the checkpoints and stuff is very, very unique, it does lead to some weird checkpointing, where sometimes there's a little bit too long between the times you get the couches, and also it's early 3D cinematic platforming. And sometimes the camera doesn't quite work the way that you want it to. And so there was this one area where I had to jump after spinning a dial onto a chain to get somewhere else. And it was only this one jump. But I died like 8 times. And this segment was like 6 minutes long. And so I was at this part for like 40 fucking minutes. And every time I would line up the jump and I'd be like, okay, this is it. I'm obviously facing it. And then I'd press forward and he'd turn fucking 0.05 degrees and jump straight past the chain, and I'd fucking fall and I'd die and have to restart the entire thing. I'm like, oh god.
It probably wasn't that exact like situation, but I definitely remember there being like some janky puzzle platforming.
Yes, there definitely is. Sometimes you're like climbing something, or you're trying to get on top of something, and it's like, no, the game does not want you to. It's like, okay, whatever. But that's a way to jank. I mean, that's true in Shadow of the Colossus as well. When you're climbing up the beast and your fucking arms are going like this, and you got one arm.
It like weirdly worked in its favor, though. I feel like
it does.
I know. Yes,
it's not a huge flaw.
Eco having platforming jank is not inherently. It's not a good thing, but like,
it gives it a charm.
It does give it a charm. I don't know how to explain it, because people, you say that, people are like, oh, you're just a fucking Ueda fanboy or some shit. There are people that that's probably people that call out Ueda fanboys. There's like a subsection of people that do that, but it does give it a little bit of charm. Yeah. Same thing with like JRPGs, where it's like, yeah, the fucking, or like even like Final Fantasy VII Remake having like weird anime writing. It's like, and like voice acting that has a charm. Even Xenoblade has charm because of fucking.
That's why Tora and Poppy are the greatest.
I was gonna say that's Tora being a fucking creep. That's good.
Yeah,
it's weird, but it is good.
Yeah.
We can talk about Final Fantasy now. Now,
do you want to start with?
Let's start with FFATV.
What the fuck is this? What does it stand for?
I was laying in bed last night. Now, you're familiar with like ATV gauges, right? I'm assuming it's supposed to be a pun on that. This is called Final Fantasy All the Bravest on mobile phones. I was like, I'll play a mobile game laying in bed right now. I just want to play something casual. This is not good. It's Final Fantasy All the Bravest. It's just based on the Pixel games. So you're just kind of going through this world map, and the combat, Tucker, is you just have like 30 Final Fantasy sprite heroes. Not even like named characters, most of them. It's mostly like the Final Fantasy 1 and 3 classes, like their sprites. And you just tap them and they just attack. And it is the most it is like 2012 mobile game to a T. Like there's nothing there. There's no real content or depth of gameplay here.
There are a lot of Final Fantasy games on the App Store.
There are. That's what I was like.
9 and 8 are on the App Store.
Yeah, dude. Crystal Chronicles is on there. Crystal Chronicles is on there.
All the Bravest. Yeah. I had to scroll past like 17 other games.
I know. I was scrolling through because I was like, damn, I kind of want to, maybe like if I play 4 Remake or something, I'll play it on mobile. And I was just scrolling through and I saw this one. I was like, oh, that's cute pixel. It's just the cute pixel art.
Apparently I downloaded Final Fantasy 15: A New Empire at one point. It's
there you go.
It has like the download again.
You got one of those like Facebook ads.
Final Fantasy 15: War for Eos.
Dude, there's so many. I always want to make a video on like Final Fantasy mobile games because there's so many. It's so weird.
Brave Exvius.
That's the popular one. That's the one that Ariana Grande is in.
WOTV looks like a tactics game.
Ariana Grande is in Brave Exvius.
Final Fantasy Dimensions. I don't know what this is.
Well, I was looking at that too. It looks like shit, but then they made Final Fantasy Dimensions 2, and it's like $20 for some reason.
That's crazy, man.
I know. I was just very interested in learning about these Final Fantasy mobile games because there's so many of them. So I downloaded this game called Final Fantasy All the Bravest. Long story short, not very good. It's just a tapping game. You just tap, and then you wait for your heroes to recharge, and they come back.
Maybe I should do that for my fucking injured self.
Maybe. Listen, these games are like, they are objectively not good. I do not recommend someone play this, but as like just a time killer.
To me, I'm downloading right now.
I'm just like standing in line or something, doing something shit. I'll be like, all right, I'll tap my Final Fantasy heroes. And you like unlock the heroes as you play.
Is it actually characters from the games? Like, are you getting a pixel version of fucking Squall and
Oh, you can pay for those, Tucker.
Of course you can.
I think the so far I've only gotten like you can picture like the Final Fantasy 1 through 3 sprites of just like the generic like Black Mage, which looks like Vivi, but it's the Black Mage. It's just that, and then
because
I think
Vivi just a normal Black Mage.
Yeah, I think so, but it's, they gave it a name later. But I think you can pay to like summon, or there's even like a $4 pack where you unlock Midgar or something, and you just like go through some Midgar stages or something.
Oh, this is funny.
I wish that was in the game.
It's an old game, so it's short. It's not long enough for my screen.
Oh, sure.
Boom. We're launching right now.
I saw that there's okay. Maybe turn that down. Turn that down, bro. What the hell? I saw there's a full playthrough of it on YouTube for 2 hours long. So I will probably beat Final Fantasy All the Bravest.
That's fucking funny, dude. That's so funny.
I was just like, I'm gonna play a stupid game, so I was like, all right.
Oh my god.
Speaking of stupid games, Tucker. Final Fantasy 16.
Don't you fucking do it to me, you bastard. you motherfucker. At least I had a 2 hour long just gush fest about this game. I was getting chills talking about this game.
Okay. I'm like 15 hours in. We're not getting into spoilers here. But let's just say I don't know. I won't say anything. There was a little time skip. Let's just say there was a little time skip.
A big time skip. Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, actually a big time skip. You're right. That's where I stopped, and I have not played in a couple days. I want to reserve my full judgment until I finish it, until I really break down the lore and all that, and look at it as a whole.
Yeah.
I really don't like this game though.
Sure.
I don't think Clive is that interesting. I think from what we've seen of like Joshua so far, like he's interesting, and then like the world at large is interesting.
Yeah.
But Clive as a protagonist, I don't find that compelling. I get his motives, but I'm not into it. I think I don't know. I think that's a big issue for me because like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I don't like that it's more casual RPG elements. I think that probably is affecting my experience overall, but specifically not having party members, I really do think is something that hurts this game. Yes, you have Jill with you. Yes, you have Sid with you throughout parts, but you're not controlling them at all. I think 7 Remake is enough for me where it gets the pass because you are switching to them, and there are different play styles. I don't think this game is very fun. It's way too easy. Like this might be one of the most brain dead games I've ever played. Like you just press square. And it's flashy, it's stylish, it looks very nice. And I'm talking regular combat here, but it's not that like it looks nice. I don't know if it's that satisfying though. I don't feel like I did something when something cool happens on screen. So when I'm running through these bigger open areas and I'm fighting these enemies, it's just like, okay, it looks nice, And this is kind of the fear I had going into the game. Because they announced it in 2020, and I was like super excited for it. This is easily like my most hyped PS5 game. I love Final Fantasy 15, and which also has pretty basic combat, to be fair. But where was I going with that? Losing my thought process. The combat's just not. I don't know. I think it's just too basic for me.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. I think that I totally understand both those criticisms. I didn't feel that it was as easy as it seems like you did. Obviously, well, you don't unlock the hard difficulty until you beat the game, which is not very helpful for people with that criticism. Which would have been good if that was an option from the beginning. Yeah. But I feel like I agree with you at the point of the game that you're in.
I have great. 3.
Someone else fucking voicing their fucking opinions on this. Get in here.
I have 3 icon classes or abilities or whatever right now. I don't know. It just feels it's a little too basic for me. I think it's fun. Yeah. It's flashy, and I will say, to the game's point, or to the game's credit, the production value is through the roof. Like I do think the frame rate needs to be fixed. The game does not run that well in terms of frame rate on performance mode. I actually just put it back on graphics mode to have a consistent 30, which I don't like to do, especially with an action game like this. But that's fine. I'm not going to be a stickler for frame rate, whatever. But the voice acting, incredible. The boss fights are very nice, and once again, very stylish, and I like seeing them. And this is kind of what I was saying. This is what I was saying earlier, and I kind of got off train. When this game was announced, I was very excited, and as we got more trailers, I kind of started getting a little worried. I think I actually mentioned this when I was on a discussion with you and Abram, maybe for the the PlayStation Showcase. Every trailer was just icons smashing up against each other, Godzilla style. It's cool. It looks really nice. The music in this game is fantastic as well. But it kind of just lacks that substance for me, especially with I mean, Final Fantasy is no stranger to QuickTime events, but it feels like QuickTime events are also really back in full force here. So I don't want to be too harsh on it. I think it is at the very least a good game, and I think once I finish it and really maybe I don't know if I think I'm maybe halfway through. Would you say maybe a little bit more than halfway through?
I would say a little under halfway through.
Under okay, so maybe the story will start really resonating with me.
Because most of the game takes place after that time jump.
Okay,
and I think that once you get established there, the game actually does open up a lot once you hit that point.
Okay,
there is a new. You might have found it, or you might have gotten to this, but there's a new hub area and a ton of things unlock once you've have that and have explored that. And I honestly do think that the game, story-wise, character-wise for Clive, and combat-wise, only continues to get better. Especially considering you now have the opportunity to really immerse yourself in this part of the world and your role in this part of the world. The game is in 3 parts. They're very greatly in length. There's the beginning where Clive is younger. There's the part that you just finished up with, which is him sort of as an ex-branded soldier. He's got the armor on. He's got the branded on his face. He's palling around with Sid. And then after that time skip, Clive takes on a new role, and that is because I agreed with you about Clive, and I actually talked about this in my big review that'll be coming up pretty soon with Andrew, where I was cold on Clive. I'm like, hey, he's kind of just edgy, and like he's got a good heart.
His name's Clive, bro. His name's Clive.
I agree. That was also one of my big problems. I think I mentioned that on here. But you learn a lot about him as a person, and especially through getting to know the wide cast of characters, some of which you have not even met yet. So I think the game only gets... Can you fucking...
Patrick going crazy.
She's fucking up all sorts of stuff. She knocked down my copy of Tears of the Kingdom. Bastard. But I really do... I only think it gets better. That is an uncommon opinion. A lot of people think the story peters out by the end, but it goes anime horseshit by the end, which I know you're not opposed to. And it might even like add a little bit of spice
that might help me. That might be why I like. I definitely have seen this. I remember when I posted my Crisis Core review. There is a subsection of Final Fantasy fans that hate Nomura. I like Nomura games. I like games he's involved with. I like Kingdom Hearts, bro. I like Kingdom Hearts. So you take it gets anime batshit crazy.
Yeah,
it might be a good thing.
Yeah,
I don't want to sound like I don't want to be too harsh on it because, like I said, I'm under halfway through, and I remember I didn't like 13 when I originally played it. I didn't love 15 when I first started playing it. So I think
for your EA Sports FC 24 Ultimate Edition, thank you PlayStation app. Jesus Christ, that was loud.
They want you. Phone
I turned it back on so I could do that bit with this Final Fantasy game. Sorry.
Oh, sure. I think by the time I finish this, I could love it. But
possibly.
Right now, I'm just not connecting with the characters, the story as a whole. I think the world itself is cool. I think, it's a very flashy game. Very flashy game. But right now, my motto with this game is it's style over substance, which is an issue.
Sure.
But I hope that changes. I will play the rest of this game with an open mind. It's been like almost a week since I played it. I played it a ton, like right after we recorded the podcast last week. So I think maybe I have seen a lot of people complaining that it gets a little long in the tooth and all that. Taking a break in between at that time skip might be a good thing too, so I don't get burnt out.
Yeah.
So
let me tell you,
open-minded.
You've got both the best parts of the game still upcoming. Some of the best boss fights are still in that second half. I think most of the best character work is in that second half. Almost all the best side quests are in that second half.
Well, that's I wanted to mention that too because I've seen a lot of people talking about the side quests. I haven't done that many because like the 10 or so I did, I was just like, oh my god. I played Final Fantasy 14. I'm not one to judge a shitty side quest, but this is boring. And I have heard apparently like at the very end of the game, like a ton of like character-driven side quests open up.
There's some amazing really ones. Like some of my favorite moments in the game.
Sure.
Like full cutscene,
which sucks because I'm already at the point where like I'm not doing the side quests because like it's kind of unbalanced. Maybe
I mean there might be like
case where less is
a
more,
list
maybe.
You can look up of like good side quests to do. And you don't need to do the other ones. I'm very interested in your thoughts on it. I think that you and I could either on a video or not have a discussion about this because this is one of my favorite games I've ever played. I, as I said, just had a 2-hour discussion about it where I was like screaming and cheering and like praising basically every aspect of it and getting full body chills, just like remembering some of my favorite moments and characters. And so obviously it's a very different experience than what you're having. So there may just be something deep inside you that doesn't jive with what this game is doing. But I also think that even if it's like maybe not a great claim to make, that I think the game does get better, and I think that maybe you will enjoy the game as it progresses more. So that's just me being hopeful, though, I guess.
Right, and that's why I brought up like the trailers and how I started getting less and less hyped as they showed more and more, because it was just like the icons, right? My expectations for this game are through the roof. Yeah. I think that is worth stating.
Sure.
So
mine were non-existent. I don't even remember the trailers.
Sure, exactly. I only really remember that first one, and then after that, I thought it just looked kind of boring.
Yeah.
So with all that said, with me not liking the combat that much and thinking the story is like at its worst, like this game, like absolute worst, before I play more, is like a 7.5 for me. But
okay, that's still good.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, because I have to understand that my expectations were very high because I love 15 especially.
Yeah.
And coming off of that, I thought, and I know 15 is also, as we were talking about, every game is a black sheep.
Yes.
So I think by the time I finish this, maybe not even immediately, but 6 months down the line, a year down the line, I will reflect on 16 and probably like it.
Sure.
Maybe not in the moment, but
yeah. But I think that's actually something very interesting about playing games and balancing your expectations and understanding their context and like the wider series or the industry or where you are in your life, is that I like that we as game players have the sort of space to shift our opinion over time. And all you can do is hope that you like it more in the future, but being honest about your thoughts now is more important than anything, because then you'll be able to reflect on what has changed since you played it and since you didn't like it, quote unquote. But I'm glad that you're being, brutally honest about it. This isn't working for me. The combat's not working, and Clive's not an interesting character. I'm like, yeah, those are.
I almost tweeted. I think I tweeted something about Lumina should have had a second chance, and you responded saying they should have done a Forspoken with like a 4, or they should have gotten a Forspoken. I just replied they should have gotten the Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That gave me a. I gulped real loud when I saw that.
But also, I also thought about tweeting out something about like, rather be playing Metroid Prime right now. I think this is a very similar situation to find, because and also to be fair, you're the closest person to me that I've heard really talking about this game, and you're fucking loving it. So I'm just oh god, now expectations are high. Like,
totally,
and not like blaming you or anything, but just like the expectations were all over the place. This game got 10s. It also got 7s. I mean, this game kind of controversial overall, for a lot of people. So it's like Metroid Prime here for me. I feel like I just got Metroid Prime, Tucker.
No,
I know you know how that feels.
I do.
It's not a good feeling, but hopefully by the end of it, I'll like it more, and I'll probably have more to say next week. I'll probably just focus. We're gonna be playing Exoprimal, Tucker, tomorrow.
Yeah, we were sort of teasing that earlier, and we're like, there's another multiplayer game. Exoprimal releases tomorrow or today, as the time of.
I will probably play it tonight if you're awake at midnight Nebraska time.
Midnight my time? Is that when it comes out?
Well,
I've been going to bed early recently.
Okay, we'll play tomorrow. I might start it tonight without you though. I like that little cat.
She's being fucking strange.
Bro, she's so small. My cat is a fat ass. Hey. He's not in here right now, but he's gigantic. But she's like not fully grown, is she?
No, she's like 5 months old.
Okay.
I can hold it with one hand.
I cannot. I can like, I have to like do the underarm to pick up my cat.
Yeah.
He's got a big old belly,
She's good. She had mites, so she got like a little sticky bit on the back of her neck now to like get rid of the mites.
Oh,
she's okay though.
She's a little flea medicine type thing.
Oh yeah.
Squeeze it. You squirt it.
Stinky. Okay, we did it. We talked about Final Fantasy. We talked about one of the worst games ever, Final Fantasy 16. It was fucking. Yeah. We had a good run.
I'm gonna. Because I keep a document of all the games I beat. I'm gonna.
Use backlogged, you sick bastard.
No, I don't. It's too much to keep track of. A little Google Doc. I have. Well, if it was one app for everything, I would. But right now I have a Google Doc where on the left side of it I have games, and on the right side of it I have movies, TV shows, and manga, and like anime, and just like it's all like in one page. It's easy to see.
You know what? That's fair.
I don't want to have Letterboxd and my anime list and fucking back. It's too much. Yeah. I've tried. I used to really keep up with Backloggery. I don't know if you ever used that website.
I must have before I found Backlog.
That was the old days. You had to like manually enter everything. There's no box arts or anything. Yeah.
That sucks.
That was like 2014. But anyway. Yeah, we're gonna be playing Exoprimal and more thoughts on Final Fantasy 16 next week.
Exoprimal.
Oh no! What I was gonna say about my Google spreadsheet.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put All the Bravest as a higher score than 16 just to spite you.
You know what? I expect nothing less. Bo.
All the Bravest is a 10. Best mobile game I played all year. We need Point B too.
God.
Point B was so good.
God, it's so good.
If you're listening to this podcast, you
haven't you know what just came out though? Mobile game just came out.
Play Point.
Oxenfree 2. Oxenfree 2 just.
I never played the first one, but I heard that's really good.
Yeah, I like Oxenfree a lot. I don't know. I guess Oxenfree 2 might be like a while I'm traveling kind of game because you just have my phone. Though games like that are like actually someone fucking cared to make them. Those drain batteries like a motherfucker. So who knows? But I'd like to play Oxenfree 2. I was very excited for it when it was announced because I do like
Netflix,
Oxenfree.
Right?
Yes.
Weird.
And it's available for purchase on everything else. It's not like exclusive to Netflix, but
it's out on Xbox. I remember that was like a weird sticking point. People were like, "Why isn't this?"
Oh,
on
it's
Xbox?
not on Xbox.
I know it's on Switch. I don't know if it's on
yeah.
PlayStation, but I know it's on Switch and I know it's on Netflix.
I still have Motive Studio Wikipedia open with Nicki Minaj typed into my search bar.
You were excited to see Nicki Minaj in Warzone.
I'm not even a Nicki Minaj fan. I just think it's funny. I just want to see what she looks like.
Is she still relevant? It just feels like that's like that should have been in like Advanced Warfare.
Oxenfree 2, PS5. Fuck you.
What's she doing?
She just broke my Nutty Professor soundtrack on CD.
Nutty Professor? No.
No.
Tucker's cat has broken his Nutty Professor soundtrack. Is it cracked?
It's split in half.
No. You might be able to save it.
Hold on. Oh no, wait.
I mean, you can replace. Yeah, it looks like it's not broken, but
okay.
Dude, I hate CD cases. They break so easily.
So
they break
bad.
so easily, dude.
And they get cracks. Oh, the cracks are the fucking worst. Basically, every PS1 game I had.
At least they're cheap.
Okay, nope. It's fine. Is there anything else broken?
There is a crack on the back of it. I think I saw.
My complete and cops boxy of Fortress.
Fortress.
Do you know what Fortress is?
The SNES Fortress game. Of course, spinoff to
Fortress. Right here. Boom. Fortress.
Can I like have that, dude?
What? No, fuck you. This is one of my prized possessions.
How much is that bad boy going for these days?
Oh, I have no idea. I got it for like $5 at a half price. It is complete in box. It's got.
That's actually. I doubt it's expensive. I was more so joking, but that's actually kind of cool.
It is very cool.
I have Tetris 2 complete in box on NES.
Oh, you do?
I do.
I never played Tetris 2. Isn't that kind of like the Dr. Mario started thing?
I have no idea.
You've never played it?
It's a fucking NES game. Why would I have played it?
All right, but Joe Talks Media, I will have played Tetris 2 by the time we get back here next week.
Oh god.
And that's a fucking Nintendo Select promise.
Wait, you're gonna play it or I have to play it by next week?
I'll play it, and then I'll be like, oh, it's the greatest puzzle game ever made, and then you'll have to play it.
Yeah, you think Yoshi's Cookie is better than Zelda 1? You sick bastard.
I gotta be fucking real to myself. You know how you hate Final Fantasy 16?
I'm just a hater. It is funny because last week I was saying like I'm gonna be the biggest Final Fantasy 16 hater, and then I played it and I was like, oh wow.
Maybe you are.
Maybe I am.
Maybe you are. 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah. I'll be too hard on it. I'll like it. I'll probably end up liking it. I'll force myself to like it.
I also think that I might be able to like talk you through why I like Clive, because I didn't like him until close to the end, and now I do.
Yeah.
Though I wish his name wasn't Clive. I still agree with that.
I could have named him something else. I think he's also like, not that like Noctis is the most incredible design or anything, or the Four Boys.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clive is just kind of boring looking.
Yeah, he's got
like,
this cool
Final
like
Fantasy
vampire
protagonist.
outfit.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Especially after he gets rid of his little mark.
Yeah, I was about to say the branded mark. It's a good story move that they removed it, but design wise, it was a cool and distinctifying element.
White guy with black hair.
Yeah.
Whereas like you look back to 15, yeah, it's Noctis who's just Sasuke from Naruto. But then you have like Lightning. You have I don't know what the guy is, Vaughn, I think from 12, like Tidus.
Zidane.
Yeah, exactly. They are pretty unique designs. Clive is just okay. Not to talk about Final Fantasy 16 again. Something I noted while playing it pretty early on. I was getting massive, we want to be Sony first party energy from this game.
Sure.
It kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
And listen, Sony first party games, undeniably fantastic quality.
Yeah.
I won't deny. I'm not gonna sit here and say God of War is bad or anything. I liked what I played of it. I think I'm over it though. I think I'm a little tired of it. I love Last of Us. I love Ghost of Tsushima. It's one of my favorite PlayStation games of the past fucking decade. I love that stuff, but I'm also kind of tired of it. I don't like when Japanese developers are like, let's become that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Stop chasing the Sony trend.
Now, not to spoil my 2-hour Final Fantasy review, but that's exactly where we started the Final Fantasy review, and I'm like, this is one of the best fucking moves they could have made. It feels like they're taking inspiration from the fucking best places in the industry, Last of Us and God of War, and they fucking knocked it out of the park. They fucking knocked it out of the park.
Maybe get it running at 60 FPS and we can talk about them knocking it out of the park.
I had no performance issues.
You played it on graphics mode. I remember you told me that. Or you said you had it on default, which is 30 FPS.
Okay.
If you don't notice that, that's fine.
It's fine.
I'm not trying to be a stickler about performance. But
kind of.
If you're gonna try to be your big budget Sony copycat,
I just remember last week you saying that the performance was really choppy, and I hadn't beaten it at that point, and I had Abram here, and I was playing some, and I was like, "Are you not? Look at the." I'm like, "Look at the TV. Are you noticing this frame rate be bad?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "I'm not either."
I was looking into it to see if I was insane because when I started playing it more, because I had it on performance and then I switched it to graphics mode because it's consistent at 30 if you do that. Apparently, if you play on performance mode, it's like 45 FPS.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're exploring the world, it's kind of just fucked. But then as soon as you get into combat, it's 60. Like they have it locked at 60 during combat. So to be fair, that is the main time it needs to be good. But like when you're just like walking around, you turn the camera. They also worth noting since like within the last week they put a patch in where you can turn off motion blur. Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. But Final Fantasy 16, it's like in my top 15 of the year so far.
We'll be back next week.
We'll be back. If I get to. I didn't even mention this. I still have not finished 3 as well, so I need to get back to that as well.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 3. I want to finish that. And then really, Tucker, we're getting close to Pikmin 4 here.
We are. We really are.
In fact, it'll actually be out next time that we post an episode. We won't be playing it yet.
That's true.
But,
that's true.
Yeah.
Or we won't have played it. We will be playing it by the time the episode goes up.
I might be playing it. I might do some New Zealand eShop shenanigans. Depending on how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, Tucker, let's get back to the news, though.
Wait, you have a copy pre-ordered?
I do.
But you want to play it like 9 hours early or whatever. Bo, buy a Steam Deck before you buy 2 copies of Pikmin.
Buy a Steam Deck? I'm going to support Pikmin, man.
Christ.
I love doing the timestamps because I do like the first half of the podcast, which is like all the little news or whatever. And then I just get to do what we're playing. And I don't second my game. So it's just like, for this episode, I can already tell it's going to be like an hour of just that one block. And then I get to go back and do like 5 more timestamps. It's easy. Timestamps are important, though. But let's get back to the news, Sucker. Our Lord and Savior, Limited Run Games, has given us stuff to talk about. Because this was like one of the driest weeks of all time. But they actually had a pretty dang good Limited Run Games showcase. We have a question to get into as well regarding Limited Run after we go through this. So we're just going to run down all of the games they showed and announced here. Not everything is a new announcement, but everything is a new physical announcement. Or a lot of these actually are new game announcements or new port announcements. Yeah. And for a Limited Run show, I have to say, pretty good. I think you watched it afterwards.
No, I didn't watch it. I just caught up.
Oh, you just... Oh, okay, sure.
Good tweets.
So... If there's any specific game you want me to stop at, we can go through here. But I'm just going to read through all the games they showed or announced physicals for. So it started off, they announced the Castlevania Advance Collection is getting a physical release. That makes sense. Coming very soon. Konami keeping up that little relationship there. Rise of the Triad Ludicrous Edition. This is one of those like Duke Nukem style FPSs coming back. What is it? Ko Mauju Ramelia Scarlet Symphony. This is a Toho game coming. This was a new announcement, I believe. This kind of looks like a Inti Creates, like Castlevania style game. It's not Inti Creates, but it looks like a Castlevania kind of game. Tiger Heli, Toplin Arcade Garage. This is a collection of shmups from M2, so you get Twin Cobra in there, kind of nice. This one's interesting. The Making of Karateka. So it includes Karateka in there. It's a video game for PS4, PS5, and Switch, but it's like a documentary. It's like an interactive documentary where you can play this game in the documentary, but also it's like it's very weird. It's also the first of the series apparently, so they're going to be doing more of these. They announced a fuck ton of vinyls. If I was a Turtles fan, I'd be crying with my wallet right now. They announced a vinyl for every single Turtles game, basically, of like all the 80s and 90s ones.
Some people are fucking crazy, man. God
damn. I'm so glad I don't care because those look sick. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 Complete Edition coming to Switch. I don't know if this is a new announcement or not, but getting a physical at the very least.
I'm going to look that up. That sounds really interesting, actually. This is the first one that I'm like gravitating towards. Roller Coaster Tycoon I've heard nothing but good things about, and I don't know if there is a version of that on Switch yet. I'm
not sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely play that. Oh, there's not a release date. Is there a release date for fucking anything here? God damn it.
A lot of it was listed like 2023. Like they said, like, hey, it's coming later this year. Like a surprising amount of it. Now, for Limited Run, that means they'll ship it in 2 years, but...
Yeah, but also like the games they announced here also will have digital releases.
Of course.
And I'm not going to get a physical copy of fucking Roller Coaster.
Why not, man? You gotta have it on the shelf. This next game I had heard of this, but I didn't know much about it. El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron.
It's already out. Sorry. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is already on Switch. I just did not know that. It's on sale right now. It's 65% off. It's $10.49. I might get that.
I wasn't sure if it was like a new physical game announcement or just like a new port announcement. But yeah, excuse me, El Shaddai: Ascension of the Metatron. I had heard of this game, but never really seen it before. This is a PS3 and 360 game developed by Ignition Tokyo. The trailer actually, I don't know if you've seen this, Tucker. It actually looks pretty cool. I'm definitely gonna check this out. It was only announced for Switch, but this is neat. I don't know why they're not bringing it to other platforms, but this looks pretty cool. Definitely up my alley. Weird Japanese PS3 game. Hack and slash
PS3 game.
PS3 and 360, but yeah, they're bringing it to.
I saw some people being kind of excited for this.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool. I've heard of the name before, but I never had seen.
And there's like two
really cool art style.
Yeah, it's got this sort of like ethereal white and black.
It almost does feel like a Platinum game from that era.
Oh, it definitely does. It absolutely does.
Yeah,
doesn't look very good.
I like the art style.
Sorry, I'm watching the trailer from 12 years ago.
Oh, well, there you go. Now, to be fair, I don't know how much of how much of a facelift they gave it, but
is there a new trailer for it?
Yeah, they showed it.
Okay. Also, this is apparently not a new announcement. There's an April Gematsu video.
Okay.
Coming to Switch.
Yeah, just to clear anything up here, it's a lot of we're getting the physical version of this release, but also a lot of the stuff is new to me, so fuck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check out that. I don't know if there was a release window for it. Just says stay tuned for more info here on Go Nintendo. Once again, not sure if it's a new announcement. Dungeons of Aether, of course, from the people that make Rivals of Aether. We'll spin off there. A lot of furry stuff in there. Not sure about that. Kind of out of order here. This was really interesting though, and kind of just like the start of them bringing back a lot of random shit. Clock Tower is being ported and remastered by WayForward. I don't know if you're familiar with Clock Tower, Tucker, but this is. I'm not sure exactly who owns it now. Capcom published them in the West, though. So I think Capcom owns the IP. Maybe they were developed by Sunsoft, because that's also on the copyright here. But WayForward is making this original Clock Tower game that never got localized. It
looks like it was developed by Capcom and a team called Human Entertainment.
Okay. These are very expensive games. I think Clock Tower 2 and 3 are the only ones that came out in America. This. I think this would be an SNES game, I imagine, based on what it looks like. But pretty cool to see that come back. And I think this is the first time that Limited Run has ever had their hand in any kind of Capcom pie, which is interesting. I like that. We'll talk about like Limited Run as a whole and what we feel about them, especially for me as a collector. It sucks that we have to go through a company like this to get games from Capcom and Konami. But if we're gonna start getting like random little Capcom physical releases, like even like that Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection, that'd be cool. If they do a physical copy of that because they're working with Limited Run now, that'd be nice. Also, WayForward is doing more revivals like they did River City Girls.
Yeah,
pretty nice.
And
Chicory,
fucking Advance Wars.
Yeah, they did Advance Wars, of course. So they actually have I guess they have a pretty decent, porting remaster studio or part of their team. I wouldn't be surprised if Limited Run acquires WayForward. They are just constantly working with them. They might as well own them at this point. Everything they do, with the exception of Advance Wars. With the exception of Advance Wars, everything they do is with LRG. We got a physical announcement for Chicory, A Colorful Tale. I've never played that game, but I've heard very good things for every platform except for Xbox. So
I love Chicory. Oh, that's a fucking great game. Yeah. I adore that game.
This was probably, I want to say, one of the biggest announcements from this, or at least one of the coolest announcements. A new game announcement. I've never played Shantae. I've always wanted to. I've dabbled, but I've never finished any of the games. So Shantae on Game Boy Color, Tucker, completely bombed, and they were making Shantae for Game Boy Advance, Shantae Advance, but no publisher wanted to pick it up. So they had this prototype of the game that they never got to release. So for the past couple of years, Matt Bozon, the creator of Shantae, has just he went back and he's just finishing the game. Mm-hmm. That's fucking awesome. And they're releasing it on a Game Boy Advance cartridge. It's a little annoying. They're only releasing it on a GBA cartridge right now. Yeah. I think that is an insane decision, and I hope they reverse that, because I think it's coming out next year, so they have time to fix that out. Because, bro, the amount of people emulating, but it has to be their day and date, bro. If they don't have it on Switch the same day it comes out on GBA, that's a fucking miss.
You figured they would have announced that here.
Exactly. So I'm hoping they change that, because that's a bad choice, because people will just emulate it. No one's gonna, and they're showing, there's a GBA 4-player link cable minigame. No one's going to play that. It's cute, it's fun. No one's going to do that.
Yeah.
But very cool. Shantae Advanced Risky Revolution. First Shantae game in
awesome.
a couple years. Very nice. Looks great. This one also I thought looked really cool. Coming out later this year. Published and funded by Limited Run Games. RZ, The Jewel of Faramore. This was a new announcement here as well. This is a spiritual successor to the Zelda CDI games with the original, like some of the original voice cast of those games.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that
coming back. I've never played the Zelda CDI games. They are notorious for being dog shit. This actually, unironically, it looks really good. Like the platforming sections in this trailer, I was surprised. So I will probably be checking that out.
Yeah, it's really cool. I don't know if those would be enjoyable, or that this would be enjoyable. Though
Sure.
It is actually interesting that it's a modern version of those, and so they might do some things that aren't the exact same, which might make it better than the other ones.
Right. If it's just a really competent, good-looking 2D platformer with those quirky, like, I mean, it's like the YouTube poop, like, you know, Zelda Link, like that type of shit with those cutscenes, but like backed by really good gameplay. That could be sick. That's so cool. The revisit that well. They reshowed Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. For some reason, they're obsessed with that. Coming out in September.
What do you mean they reshowed it? Was it already announced?
Yes, this was announced like 4 years ago, Tucker. And they
really?
keep delaying it. It's fucking Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. I don't know why they.
Limited Run Games announced during E3 2021 that they'd be porting the game to Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, Windows, and Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not that
September
long ago,
2023.
Yeah, so it's coming out later this year, finally.
God, how much is this fucking game gonna cost? How much is... I can't imagine they can charge that much for it.
They'll probably charge 40 for it.
40?
On the website. On the website. I don't know how much.
Digitally.
Probably, digitally, probably 15, 20.
I'm sorry, Bo. I'm not buying a physical copy of Plumbers Don't Wear Ties for Nintendo Switch.
I don't blame you. I will not either. This one looked pretty cool. Apparently, it's already out on Steam, though. This Way Madness Lies. This is a magical girl JRPG. Looked pretty cool. I saw it's like 13 hours though, so I'll never play it because that's just too long for me for an indie RPG when there's too many fucking JRPGs to play. But I actually thought this looked pretty cool. Really good music, like vocal, lyrical music. Colossal Cave getting remastered from Sierra, point and click game there. Midnight Fight Express getting a physical release. Another Crusade. I think this was maybe a new announcement. This is a Mario RPG style game. I imagine it's coming out later this fall, so I imagine they're. Do you think they're happy or sad that Mario RPG is coming back? It'd probably be an overall a positive thing.
Yeah, I think so.
But also, you have to imagine like they're just like, man, right?
Yeah, I mean,
right when they're remaking it.
I think really the best thing would have been for this game to somehow release a couple months after Mario RPG.
If they could delay it until next spring, that'd be very smart. I think. Yeah. Or even just even December, like just not, for the love of God, not November, please. This one's weird. Another Way Forward game. Rose and Camellia Collection. This is like they described it as if Jane Austen novels met Punch Out, and it's like Victorian women just slapping each other with the Joy-Con. Fucking weird, man.
Oh, I love video games.
I love video games so much. Gargoyles Remastered. We'd heard about that getting physical release. Of course, that's Disney. This one was pretty cool. Little precursor to one of the final announcements. Double Shake is coming from Right Stick. This is a Tomba / Klonoa inspired PS1 style platformer coming to Switch. I think next year. Yeah, so next year. Definitely reminds me of as well the what was the Christian Whitehead game that got announced in the direct?
Oh, Penny's Big Breakaway.
Yeah, definitely vibes of that. Like that, it just honing in on that PS1 style, which looks pretty cool.
Yeah, which much like Penny's Big Breakaway is an era of nostalgia and design that hasn't really been recaptured that much. So it is very cool to see Saturn PS1 style games be entered into the mix. And so it's not just like, hey, we're doing something that looks like a Super Nintendo game. No, now there's different styles to work with. And I'm actually just watching the trailer now. It looks pretty good. It looks very Klonoa, throwing stuff into the background. But, I mean, Klonoa fans are probably very excited for this. I don't like Klonoa. I played Klonoa 1 through the remaster. I'm like, I don't like this game at all.
Interesting.
So if this game gets good reviews and I can get my hands on it, then I might give it a try. But I'm not sold on another Klonoa type game because I don't like Klonoa.
It was interesting how they announced it, or just kind of funny. They're like, he was like, this game is like Tomba, and then later in the showcase, we got the announcement that Tomba is coming back through Limited Run's proprietary Carbon engine.
I didn't know they had an engine. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah, well, I think maybe I wasn't. I must have watched it with someone else, but their E3 show last year. They just kept saying, this is running on the Carbon engine. So they're basically just something that's not in this Go Nintendo article is the Jurassic Park collection that they announced. That's also running all those classic games on the Carbon engine. So very interesting. Tomba specifically is interesting. I would need to do research. Sony published these games on PS1. I thought they owned the IP.
No,
so I don't.
That's not true. They did not publish it.
They absolutely published Tomba on PS1. Like 1,000%.
Okay, Tomba, Tombi. Oh, okay. Okay, they didn't publish it in Japan. You're right.
Okay. That's fair.
They didn't publish it worldwide, so they probably don't own it.
Okay, they don't own it then. But still, really cool to see these games come back. I know there's a subsect of people that really like them, and just something you would never really expect to see. It's kind of one of those things that's like never gonna come back. You know?
Tomba, not also called Tombi, for the villages in Iran. See Tombi, Iran.
Oh my god!
Thank you, Wikipedia.
Tomba
2: The Evil Swine Return. Yeah, everywhere but Japan, also published by Sony. Okay. So you're right.
They don't own it then, I guess. But I'm very interested in this. I've always heard good things about Tomba. I have some friends that like Tomba. Yeah. It's a weird game, little 2D platformer. I think it's just a 2D platformer, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like 2.5D elements. Right. But what's interesting about this? Let me see if there's any information here. Bringing the platform to modern consoles. Now, do we know if this is redone at all?
I would it has a new OST. This is what their tweet says. Our favorite pink-haired, high-jumping jungle boy returns alongside creator Tokuro Fujiwara to bring the beloved platformer Tomba to modern consoles via the Carbon engine with a new OST by the legendary Sound Fujita. More info about the physical and digital release to come. So maybe there was something with licensing with the original soundtrack and they had to redo it, perhaps, or something. But I would imagine this is probably just a pretty straightforward port.
Yeah.
This game is very expensive physically on PS1. Both these games are. So stuff like that, I'm cool with. And then finally,
I'm just looking at Fujiwara real quick because I'm like, I feel like I've heard that name before. And so director of Tomba, and a game designer on Tomba 2, but then director for Ultimate Ghosts and Goblins in 2006. Bionic Commando.
Oh, he worked at Capcom. Mega Man 2 producer. Yeah,
and then recently director of Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection in 2021. Producer for basically every Mega Man X game, Mega Man Soccer, Final Fight. What the fuck is Goof Troop?
I think the most
producer
interesting
for Mega Man games.
I mean, this guy has a crazy career, but he was the director for Sweet Home. Do you know what that is, Tucker? Are you familiar?
Isn't that a Game Boy horror game?
It's an NES horror game.
NES, sorry.
That was basically the precursor to Resident Evil. That's the game that inspired Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So
Director of Bionic Commando, Ghouls and Ghosts,
Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
This
man produced a lot of stuff.
He did. Cool.
And then he was the general producer on Resident Evil 1. Cool.
Yeah.
Good for him. Wow, he really did not do much in between Mad World and Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection.
That's crazy. Was it 12 years?
That is also just he's coming out of retirement to fucking bring back Tomba.
Yeah,
he's got to spread the good word.
Yeah, but if these are cool on Switch, and I just think when it comes to games like this, and frankly also Klonoa, and part of the reason that I didn't like that game is I think that the way that they remastered it makes it look significantly worse than the original games. It of course is HD, and the models are like round now instead of pixelated, but I think it takes so much of the charm away. And I was watching like side by side comparisons of the like cutscenes, especially from the old games versus the remastered one, and I'm like, wow, they really fucked this. So if it still looks like the original games did, that will please me. But if they like give it a little bit of a polished art style and stuff, I'm not sure if I'll be into that. But it's still cool that the games are coming back because they're so expensive.
Yeah. And then finally, their final announcement, another series coming back. I think this is very exciting, Tucker.
This is amazing.
A couple of reasons. The Gex trilogy, Channel Surfs onto Carbon Engine. This trailer was very funny. Did Gex have like a GoldenEye joke originally or something? Is that like a thing? Is that like the intro of the game?
I don't know, but like the box art for Gex 3, I believe, is him basically doing a James Bond thing.
Yeah. I will not lie. I was watching this. I was like, for a second, I was like, are they doing a physical of GoldenEye? Like, it actually tricked me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no, Gex 64 boxer here. I'm gonna send you the. Yeah. I have the Gex 64. I actually own Gex 64 on a cartridge.
I'm happy for you, man.
Thank you. I'm sending you the box art real quick. Yeah, it's basically just a James Bond thing.
See here. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, I mean, Gex is a meme, but also it's like these were developed by Crystal Dynamics, I believe, right? So people that went on to make Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
This was. I think that there was some crazy stat where like Gex has this Gex trilogy has sold more than all of the Metroid series or something. So like Gex is not small. Gex is a meme, but Gex actually was a pretty popular series back in the day. Yeah. So seeing it come back makes sense. I think the most interesting thing here, Tucker, for me is, and this I could be wrong here. It says Square Enix in the copyright. Once again, limited run. Maybe getting their hands on some Square Enix property. If you can do some weird Square Enix shit, I'd be very happy. Give me Square Enix is pretty good about that already. Like the PlayAsia releases, I got various Day Life in the mail right now for Switch. But if we can get more Square Enix stuff on Switch physically through a limited run, that'd be very nice. But the thing is though, I don't think they own Gex right now, do they? Didn't that get sold to Embracer?
From what I can tell, this is just kind of by technicality. Though I'm not seeing other companies down there. It really is just Square Enix. So it's possible they actually.
Maybe this deal was happened before this, but they sold it, so it should say Embracer. I thought Gex was part of that, right?
I mean, it's a Crystal Dynamics game, and from what I can tell,
and they sold Crystal Dynamics, yeah.
Sony didn't, or not Sony. Square didn't own Crystal when they made these games. They were published by Microsoft on PC. They self-published. Crystal Dynamics self-published them on PS1 and Saturn, which is the original game. And then Square Enix published the GOG version.
God.
So it might just be by technicality.
Yeah.
But I think that this is really cool. And I have to say that even though 90% of these games don't instantly appeal to me, like I have no nostalgia for most of these games or even the genres that they're trying to appeal to, there's so many distinct games here that are building upon old styles or are ports of old games or remakes or whatever. This is a subsect of the industry that no one else is touching. And most of these games are going to be available digitally, which means that anyone will be able to play them. Of course, yeah.
Except for, I guess, Shantae Advance isn't announced yet, but yeah.
So I was actually right saying most of them, even though I didn't mean to say that. But, like, no one's making these kind of moves. Like, no one gives a fuck about Plumbers Don't Wear Ties or, like, making a new CDO type game.
Or bringing back Shantae Advance.
Yeah. And so this is, like, really distinct and I think pretty important for the longevity of a lot of these games.
Yeah, I think there was a report, I believe, from the Video Game History Foundation or something like that, where they said, like, 87% of games released before 2010 cannot be purchased, that kind of thing. So... And let's just go into this question we had from Caleb, Bravo99 here. What do you think about LRG? Some people actively despise them. I'm a collector. Unfortunately, you just kind of have to trade baseball cards with limited run if you are a Switch collector. There's no way to avoid it, especially when they are releasing physical versions of like Contra and Castlevania and stuff like this now. Limited run is a very hated company. People do not like them. They take forever to ship games. People think their games are too expensive and all that. And I'm kind of one of them. I think
How many limited run games have you purchased?
I probably have like 20 or 30 in my Switch collection, which is like a lot. I mean, that is
a lot. That is a lot.
Upwards
of $1,000 spent on.
Oh, definitely. And I probably have $1,000 in orders from them from the past year, just waiting to be shipped.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
That's nuts.
So is it? Yeah, I'm a hypocrite if I say I hate limited run. Unfortunately, if you're a collector, there's not much you can do about it. But also, the sentiment that like limited run is dog shit and shouldn't exist anymore. Someone even commented that on my video. Like they said, I would rather limited run not exist than see any of these games come back. And I think that is a very toxic mindset.
That's a terrible take.
That is a terrible fucking L take. Listen, you don't have to like a limited run, but especially now that they're doing this carbon engine shit.
Yeah.
Limited run is the reason WayForward probably even exists right now. Limited run is the reason we're getting all these Turtles collections and Jurassic Park collection. Limited run's the reason Tomba's coming back. Limited run's the reason Gex is coming back.
Yeah.
If it was just them getting like Contra and then the Contra's not sold at Best Buy anymore, yeah, that sucks. But they are responsible for, I would assume it's not an exaggeration to say, hundreds, if not thousands of people's jobs now. Developers, indie developers, all across. They're publishing that RZ CDI game.
Yeah.
If it was a couple years ago, I was more in line with that thinking of like, yeah, they're just scooping up IP so they can publish them and have like the exclusive like limited run collector mindset bullshit going on. But now that they are actually responsible for these games coming back, that is incredibly important for game preservation.
Absolutely.
And it's also just fucking cool. We would not be getting this stuff if it wasn't for them.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was kind of getting at earlier about no one is touching this stuff.
Right.
And you don't expect anyone to touch this stuff, but having a group that cares enough to not only dig into old catalogs to bring back games, but to work with the creators and do distinct things with them, like getting games made that were never finished and remaking games and working with the original creators and making all these collections. I think the collections are incredibly important, and making them available in ways that they never had been and no one ever expected them to be, is awesome. And I have no ill will against them. I've never had a negative experience with Limited Run because I've only interacted with Limited Run once, and that was 6-7 years ago when I bought a Limited Run copy of Firewatch for PS4. Firewatch, one of my favorite games, wanted a physical copy of it. Only time I've ever even thought about getting a Limited Run game. It arrived. I took a picture of it. I never played the PS4 version because I played it on Steam. It has a cool map inside of fucking Shoshone National Park, and it has like the soundtrack on mini CD. And I'm like, this is awesome. But I know they have flaws. Something that Abram has told me talking to indie developers for his job, that there's been a lot of developers that aren't a fan of what they do, and sometimes they're not very easy to work with, and obviously there's problems with the fact that they don't make a ton of copies of the things that they're putting out. But there is a positive side.
I don't think that's an issue anymore because they do open pre-orders now, which is part of the issue that shipping is bad.
I'm not.
Yeah, back in like 2017, they would just like the most expensive Switch game is Shantae and the Pirate's Curse because they made a set amount of copies of that game and then they went up on the website. The website would crash. That it was like horrible. Now they just have an open pre-order window for like a month where. I just pre-ordered Alien Isolation a couple days ago on Switch because they just had it up for a month, and that's how much they're gonna make. Now they're gonna manufacture it. That's why it takes 6 months to a year to get it. Because you buy it before they even start making it, which is an issue. But also, as I've learned more about like other I recently pre-ordered a Mio figure from Xenoblade 3. That shit is shipping in at Q1 2025, Tucker.
Really?
So I'm just like, manufacturing stuff takes time. I'm not trying to defend Limited Run. Like sometimes they fucking take way too long when they shouldn't, or they take way too long for the wrong reasons. I know Caleb, who wrote in, my friend, he bought some fucking like Shantae Pogs, and that like Pog. You know what Pogs are, Tucker? The little circle things from the 90s, the little collectible Pogs. They made some Shantae Pogs, and because he bought those,
no fucking idea what you're talking about. Is this just spelled like POG?
Yeah, POGS. There's like an Alf Pogs. That was like classic. He bought some Shantae themed Pogs or some sort of Pogs from Limited Run, and because he did that in the same order as his Shantae special editions or whatever, that made that order take like an extra year. I'm not even joking.
Wow.
I think the issue with Limited Run is they need to stop doing all the like merchandise, or just make the games. Just release the games physically.
Yeah.
You can do some special editions for like Castlevania, that deserves a special edition.
They released some weird goddamn games. I'm just looking at their fucking. I haven't even heard of most of this stuff.
Right. They go crazy with it.
There are some things like the collections and Tetris Effect and I don't know, fucking Zeo Drift. Like I've heard of some of this.
I ordered Tetris Effect Connected on Switch, Tucker, last July. Still hasn't come.
That's nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They're the only ones that did the physical for Nobody Saves the World? That's a fucking drink box game.
That game's awesome.
Oh, and I also know they did like Severed and stuff.
Yeah, I actually have Severed orders as well. They also have Distro now where they just distribute stuff through like Best Buy and Amazon. So I think in the case of Nobody Saves the World, it's not like a numbered release, meaning it will be at Best Buy, basically. I believe is how that works. It's a little convoluted.
Huh. Well, you know what? I don't fucking run this.
Limited Run? Keep bringing back shit like Tomba?
Yeah.
You're okay in my book.
Yeah.
Shit you do with your employees? That's, when you get all that?
Mega Man Legends vinyl?
Did they do Mega Man Legends vinyl? That's awesome.
Yeah. History of Sunsoft?
Oh, I want that.
They do some really weird stuff.
They did I have the Blaster Master
Boyfriend Dungeon Collector's Edition. Crazy.
Yeah.
But everything they announced there, even if I'm not into it, I think is cool for a variety of different reasons. And like them doing this showcase proves that they have a huge amount of stuff that they're working on, and a good chunk of it is like at least somewhat notable. I mean, they got fucking Taba and Gex, and like I didn't expect to hear either of those names this year.
No, yeah, exactly.
Abram actually FaceTime called me, and he's like, "Look on Twitter right now." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, and I'm like, "Oh Jesus, All the Gex games are coming back, and when, who knows? Because there's no information fucking given here. But
I would assume that and Tone Bar next year, probably. Well, yeah, I don't know with their time and pipeline. Who the fuck knows? But that's the thing though. Gex, I could foresee a situation where Gex came back just because of the meme. Tomba is something that could have easily never come back.
Yeah.
Like very easily. So that's cool, you know. But limited run. Hey, listen, vote with your wallet. If you don't want to support limited run, you don't have to. Buy the games digitally if you really want to. I mean, you can do that as well. It's not like you're forced to buy it physically. There was that one company, I think it's like Special Reserve Games. I don't want to, you know what? I don't want to say that because I don't want to be mean if I get the name wrong. There was one limited run style company that tried to do physical only games where they didn't release it digitally.
Was it Super Rare or is that a different thing?
Super Rare? No, I don't think it was Super. I think it was Special Reserve Games, but you know, don't
Special Reserve.
They eventually went back on it because of how much backlash they got, but they tried to release physical only Switch games. Like they weren't going to release it on the eShop, which is fucking
they do
horrible.
They do some actually bigger stuff.
Maybe it wasn't Special Reserve. It was
Card Shark, Death's Door, Disc Room, Heave Ho, Enter the Gungeon. They work with fucking Devolver.
Yeah, they got Devolver money.
Maybe this is actually like a part of Devolver because like I think everything here I'm saying is Inscription, Trick to Yomi, Talos Principle, Cult of Lamb.
That's all Devolver. That's all Devolver. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm learning stuff today.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, even taking out like Contra and Castlevania collections from the equation, which arguably should have physical releases just from Konami without limited run involvement.
True.
Yeah, if you want to go for a full Switch collection or something, they make it impossible now because they.
You also
so much.
shouldn't do that.
You also should not do that. But I'm just saying, like from the collector mindset, if there are people that try to do that, it makes it basically impossible. I would never do that for Switch. I'll do it for Wii U, Tucker. I'll do it for Wii U. But like, nobody saves the world, bro. That game would never get a physical release if it wasn't for limited run. And now those developers can hold that game in their hands, and that's special. I imagine that's very special for a lot of developers, and for fans. That's cool.
Definitely.
That's cool. Tucker, this I think was before we recorded last week, but I didn't realize that they said this. Level 5 opened a 10th anniversary website for Yokai Watch, and on the website they just straight up say that the next Yokai Watch project is in the works. So that's kind of a big deal. We know Level 5's coming back. I think Yokai Watch coming back was obvious because they're bringing back Fantasy Life and Professor Layton and they're doing Deca Police. But yeah, it just says on the website, yep, new Yokai Watch game coming out. No specifics on platform or what it is were shared. But I thought that was pretty notable. Yokai Watch, I mean, that was one of the main franchises on 3DS, I would say. Like that was a
definitely
tentpole series.
Yeah.
So to see
it fucking like what, 4 of those games technically?
Dude, there's so many of them. There's 4 mainline ones, but then there's like the Blasters games. There's like 3 of those.
Oh, I'm not.
There's like other spin-offs. There's Yokai Watch Just Dance on Wii U, Tucker.
Are you serious?
I have
that.
Yeah, like No.
Okay, that's why I'm not familiar.
Yokai Watch was like a thing, bro.
Wait, there was a Yokai Watch 4 on Switch?
I have it. They also
have you played it?
No, because I don't fucking know English, bro. Or I don't know English. Yeah, I don't know Japanese.
Yokai Watch 4 never was localized?
No, it wasn't. But more sadly, I think. Well, I guess not more sadly, but Yokai Watch 1 was also remade for Switch or ported to Switch. That would be awesome.
Only for Japan?
Only in Japan, yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill someone. Just fucking put out these games.
Exactly, localize it. I can't like what the fuck. They have to have. You don't need to retranslate it. Maybe like a little bit of work, but you already have the English localization. I would have.
That's
Nintendo
true.
Nintendo published it. I bet Nintendo has like the rights to that localization, right? Is that how that would work? That's probably how that would work. So if Nintendo didn't want to localize Yokai Watch 1 on Switch, they were just out of luck, probably.
I have no idea, man.
That'd have to be it. But yeah, Yokai Watch coming back. Pretty nice. I don't like Yokai Watch. Let me clarify. I played Yokai Watch 1 earlier this year. I did not really like it, but I know there is, based on my couple of shorts I've made about Yokai Watch on 3DS, and the fact that they consistently get views, Yokai Watch, pretty popular. People want Yokai Watch back.
Now, I have one memory with Yokai Watch. One ever.
Okay.
Which is, I thought it sounded pretty cool, and I'm like, okay, this is a, like, Nintendo published a fucking DS franchise. I want to give at least the first one a try. And so I bought one of the first games I ever bought on eBay or Amazon or something. Like one of the first games I ever bought digitally, or like to be shipped to my house. And I get a copy of Yokai Watch. And I opened it up, and nice little cart in there. Yokai Watch, it says Yokai Watch on it. Put the Yokai Watch cartridge in my 3DS. Steel Diver Subwars.
Are you serious?
Someone made a copy of Steel Diver Subwars.
Bastards.
And they put a Yokai Watch sticker on it, and they fucking sold me it.
Those sick bastards.
And I was like, I've never.
You arguably got a better game.
Isn't that the one that's fucking free though?
Yeah.
I already had it. It was already on my DS.
If that Subwars is the free to play one.
God, it was so fucking annoying. And I was like, because actually that's one of the first times I've ever had a bad.
They loaded it onto the cartridge and then put like a sticker over it.
I have no idea. I don't know what it was, but like it looked like Yokai Watch on the outside, and then it was actually.
It was a sealed copy.
No. I'm not gonna buy a sealed copy of Yokai Watch. No.
Oh, okay.
But
that's still insane.
I think they just made they must have like printed out artwork, put it in a 3DS case, and like gotten the cheapest fucking cartridge they could, and like put a Yokai Watch sticker on it.
Of all the games to do that with, Yokai Watch 1 isn't expensive. You do it with a Pokemon game if you're gonna try to scam kids.
Exactly. I'm sure I only got it for $20 or whatever.
Yeah. Yokai Watch was famously at Five Below for a long time, Tucker. That's where I bought it.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. They couldn't get rid of that game. The first game.
Yeah. I mean, that game probably costs more now that the eShop's dead.
Yokai Watch was probably like $40 now, I'd imagine. Yokai Watch 1, Yokai Watch 3. Now that, Jesus Christ, it's like a $500 game.
What?
Yeah, I have it. I got it for $80.
That's a pretty good deal for that.
Yeah.
Actually,
it skyrocketed.
I realized actually one of the most expensive games I own now, through our conversation today, is probably my limited run copy of Firewatch.
Probably.
I just looked it up and new $450.
Yeah. Is yours new? Where'd you open it?
I'm sure I opened it. Oh yeah, because I looked at the fucking map. But like,
oh right.
It's like I've never used.
Still though, yeah. How much is it? How much is it selling for? Like open?
Like 150. So.
Okay, that's still good though.
It's still probably it might be the most expensive game I own still.
Yeah.
Because I don't go for crazy shit like you do.
I don't know if you saw. I posted that video where I evaluate how much.
I did. I watched the whole goddamn thing. Great video.
Dude, I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
It's not even like that bad though, because it's not losing value. I got insurance for it, so I'm safe now. Covers theft.
Really?
I shouldn't say that. Don't steal my shit. Someone's gonna listen to that and be like,
"That's crazy." Shit. That's crazy. No one knows where you fucking live, dumbass. How would they find you? Like, oh, look at the shadow outside the window. That's got to be this street.
You look into the description. It just has my home address for some reason.
How did they find me?
Oh no.
Bo, do you think you'll ever get a P.O. box?
I've thought about it. I have thought about it.
I don't even know how you'd.
I think you just go to. I think you just go to a mail, like a post office, and be like, "Hey, I want to buy a box." But here's the thing: do they give you an alert when something gets delivered there? Do you just have to go ahead and check? I'm not gonna go ahead and be like, "Hey,
of course, you get alerted. Absolutely.
I don't know, man. All right, final news thing. Not like a specific point here I want to make. However, legalese, not my strong suit. It's looking very likely, Tucker, that Activision Blizzard King will be acquired by Microsoft by the end of the week. I believe what's the word? The injunction filed by the FTC or some shit was denied or something like that.
Some fucking crazy.
And now the FTC is trying to appeal it, but basically, the deal is as good as done, essentially. But the initial terms of the deal was that it would be closed by July 18th, 2023. So I think Bobby Kotick said, listen, if it doesn't get closed by that date, we're just moving on. So within a week, we will know. Most certainly, I fucking please let this be over with.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of hearing about it. We will know if Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard King. A couple things came out of there's some more court papers released though. Specifically, it actually said that Call of Duty will be coming to the Switch.
Yeah.
That is wording that had not been said before. Phil Spencer had said, no, they had never used the word Switch. They said Nintendo platforms. So everybody was just like, okay, they're being coy that it can come to future, Switch 2. They actually just straight up said Switch 1.
Yeah.
So if that's in the contract, I imagine that means they have to do that, which means we'll be seeing Call of Duty on Switch probably, not next year, but maybe the year after, which, Switch 2 will probably be out by then. But, yeah, that's pretty big. And just the fact that if this happens, Call of Duty will be coming to Switch, and, that's huge. So, getting Call of Duty on Switch, getting Frostbite on Switch, and maybe some Battlefield action.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic. Dude, I want to see Battlefield 2042 running on the Switch.
Not going to happen.
I want it so bad, dude.
Can't
horrible.
happen. Can't happen.
But yeah, I look forward to having that deal pass us. I'm also just curious to see, not that these companies are reactionary, but they also, I mean, they kind of are. What happens next? I'm scared of what Sony might do. I'm scared of what Microsoft might do in terms of acquiring more studios.
Yeah,
I think it's very interesting to talk about. I know it's like console war bullshit, but if Sony goes anywhere near Square Enix, I'm going to be very upset. I'm going to be very upset, Tucker.
We'll see.
They release most of their games exclusively on Switch.
Yeah.
That'd be a big blow to Nintendo, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to like protect all my precious Switch collection and all the precious Square Enix games on my Switch, but it doesn't really make sense. People being like, "Oh, Sony should go for Square Enix." Why? Because they fucking got Final Fantasy VII Remake and 16 exclusive?
Yeah.
What else did they do? That's really all the relationship is Final Fantasy, which, to be fair, is their biggest thing. But I don't like that. I'd rather they go for Capcom, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Anybody but Square Enix. But Square Enix.
Consolidation.
Crazy times we're living in, Tucker. It's probably going to happen. So one of those is going to happen. Let's get into a couple of listener questions here. And when I say a couple, I literally mean two.
Damn.
We're all slacking this week. But King Dilly came through, asking us, love these fast food questions, Tucker. What is the best pizza chain?
Certainly the one I have most experience with, Domino's. Because there was a Domino's right across the street from my high school, and when we were doing summer band camp, we had to fucking be there like fucking 4 days a week in the blaring hot sun. We'd just walk across the street and get pizza for lunch break. And I like Domino's. Nothing against Domino's. It's not my favorite pizza, but I really honestly, like, I've had Papa John's and Little Caesars. At least I must have, but like I don't get them consistent enough for me to be like, oh man, I'm a Little Caesars head. I could not tell you the fucking difference, frankly.
Little Caesars guy be like pizza, you know?
He does be like that. God damn.
He does. Goddamn. People always like. There's always like the image. It's like one's got to go. And it's like hot dogs, burgers, pizza, and like wings or some shit. Obviously, you're gonna get rid of hot dogs in that scenario.
No, I love
I'll be honest.
Hot dogs.
Nah, fuck you.
Hot dogs are actually better than all those. I'm not gonna lie.
All of them.
I'm a fucking hot dog. I'm a hot dog head. My favorite food experience is my life.
Some may call you a wiener head.
So many do. That's my nickname in high school.
Yeah.
My favorite food experience in my entire life was eating a hot dog. That's not a joke at all.
What happened? Like, did you fucking like meet God while you got the hot dog?
Basically, no. Let me set the context. I'm like 12 or 13. We are visiting New York City. We're staying in an apartment in downtown Manhattan. We were visiting Coney Island for the day. Coney Island has a hot dog place on it called Nathan's Hot Dogs. That was the original place. It's still open. It's been going for fucking 100 years. People call them some of the best hot dogs, just in general. And we still get Nathan's Hot Dogs like frozen, like from the grocery store today. But
you can just buy those.
Yeah, they just make them. But Nathan's true Nathan's is fucking Coney Island Nathan's. And I had a hot dog. I'm like, that was a really good hot dog. We spend the day at Coney Island. We're doing some fucking arcade games. They have these rickety wooden roller coasters. I'm like, goddamn, this is crazy. And then before we go onto the subway to head back home, I'm like, Mom, can I get another hot dog? And she's like, yeah, it's like $3, whatever. It's like, am I gonna tell my kid no, you can't have a $3 hot dog? So she can get a hot dog. And this hot dog was so goddamn good that for like the 2.5 hour, 3 hour ride it took to get back, multiple subways, walking multiple blocks, I was nibbling on it. The tiniest little mouth bites.
You saved it the entire ride.
I did, and I was like, I ate that hot dog. It took me so goddamn long, and I remember that hot dog to this very day.
I'm happy for you, man. Have you had Nathan's Real Hot Dog since?
Well, no, because I haven't been back to Coney Island.
Okay.
Though, at some airports, they have a Nathan's. And there's also, like, Nathan's stands. So, when I went to New York City a couple of years ago, I got a Nathan's hot dog from a stand, and it was pretty good. And when I passed through Vegas earlier this year at the airport, they had a Nathan's thing, so that was pretty good. they're my favorite hot dogs and make me love hot dogs. And I'm probably just gonna go downstairs and have a hot dog when we're done, just to fucking spite you.
Just thinking about it. I'm not.
I'm salivating right now.
I'm
Jesus.
not hating on hot dogs. Hot dogs are fine. I mean, it's gotta be from a grill. If you ain't grilling that shit, what the fuck, bro? People like. No, that's disgusting. That's disgusting.
It's so easy, man.
It is easy. And like, okay, listen. I maybe I'm being a little harsh. It's not disgusting. It's fine. What do you put on it? You put just like.
I'm a big anything I've got guy. Like
okay,
I like having fucking sloppy and like a bunch of stuff. I'm a big mayo on my hot dog.
I like mayo.
Kind of guy.
Mayo's good.
I'm a big mayo heads unite.
Mayo heads unite. But getting back to the question about pizza, I'm similar in that Domino's just kind of like the de facto.
Yeah.
It's like the best. It's like the best bang for your buck pizza.
Sure.
It's a little cheaper than Pizza Hut, which I think Pizza Hut's probably actually better. But then also I grew up eating Little Caesars a lot because it's very cheap. I don't know if it's cheap anymore, but I remember it was like $5 for a large pizza back in the day. And I remember I have not had Little Caesars since I was probably 15. But
There's gotta be a Little Caesars here.
Just smacking on Little Caesars, just loving it with a little garlic sauce, which is disgusting in hindsight, but I love that shit.
Wait, whoa,
man, you're just like putting. It's just like it's not.
It just makes it taste like kind of buttery and salty.
So nice. Unhealthy. It's so unhealthy, and this is where my issue.
I weigh like 10 pounds.
Sure.
I'm a healthy motherfucker.
I'm not. So whenever I eat pizza, Tucker, I haven't got. I got Domino's like maybe a month or two ago. I don't get pizza very often. I felt so dirty after I ate it.
Eating Domino's? Sure.
I felt so greasy. And I like a greasy burger. I like a fucking fat American. Got your bacon on there. It's good. It's good. Yeah. Pizza, nothing makes me feel grosser than eating pizza. It tastes good in the moment, but it's like that post-pizza clarity. I'm just like, oh my God, what have I done? I should not have gotten pizza.
What did I just put in my body?
Exactly. It's good in the moment, and then I don't want to get it for like 6 months.
Yeah. Now I gotta be Austin pilled for a second. Okay. I'm from Austin, Texas. The best pizza I've ever had is a place called Home Slice Pizza. And now, Home Slice is a chain. I think it's only in Austin, but they got 2 or 3 restaurants there. But I used to live by this place, and I would get fucking Home Slice all the time. And now every time I go back to Austin, I have to get Home Slice. And I've taken my friends there, and they love it. I took my girlfriend there, they love it. Bo, I gotta ask you, are you a thick crust or a thin crust kind of guy for pizza?
Thick crust.
Thin crust all the way, baby. The thin crust of a goddamn Home Slice pizza. I say my favorite single food memory is that Nathan's hot dog, but my favorite restaurant on this planet is Home Slice Pizza. I had my birthday there 6 years in a row. I'm fucking dedicated. Home Slice Pizza. Go to Austin. Fly there just for that pizza.
If I go to Austin, Texas anytime soon, I will go to Home Slice.
They got fucking RTX and they do some fucking conventions there. So if you're ever in town, if you're ever in the neighborhood, get some Home Slice Pizza. Okay. Now we got to cover our bases. Want to talk a little about burgers?
Sorry, what?
Do you want to talk a little about burgers? Because I'll talk some goddamn burgers.
Burgers are great. What do you mean? Like it's just
burger memories, favorite burgers. I don't know.
I don't know about favorite burger memories. There's a place kind of
I got a favorite burger, baby.
Called Blazing Onion. I don't know. I think it's just a West Coast thing. That my roommate was just obsessed with. He would always talk to me about it before I moved here, and he was like, "You gotta get Blazing Onion." So I started eating Blazing Onion. If we have time when you come for PAX West,
absolutely.
I think I don't think there's one in Seattle. There might be one in like a surrounding city, but Blazing Onion burgers, that shit it's a religious experience. Let me tell you what. Now, as far as like fast food burgers, I don't like McDonald's burgers. I've never liked McDonald's burgers. I haven't had Burger King in fucking 15 years. Five Guys is good. It's expensive. 5 Guys is good. It's very goddamn expensive. It's expensive though. I just don't like going there because it's like, bro, like it's like $13 like a double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Whereas which
is way more than an entire meal at like any other place.
Exactly. Yeah. It's too much.
I got 2 specific burger things that I must clarify for me as a person. If you want to know something about a person, it's these 2 burger things.
Okay.
Burger facts. Number 1, In-N-Out burgers are fucking gas. In-N-Out slaps fucking hard. And my best burger memory is I was in marching band. For my high school marching band, we were part of the Tournament of Rose Parade, the Rose Bowl Parade in California for New Year's. We were the representative for Texas. It was really cool experience. We're marching fucking 4 or 5 miles, whatever it is. We finished. They got free In-N-Out burger, like trucks, right where we finished. I ate like 5 of them. I just kept being like, because we each got 2, and my friends were eating one. I'm like, can I have yours? Can I have yours? I ate so many goddamn In-N-Out burgers that day that's my best burger memory. But the more active and consistent burger memory is Burger King, because we get Burger King coupons in the mail, and Burger King coupons are fucking.
Why do you get Burger King coupons in the mail?
Can I tell you why we didn't sign up for them, but they show up
in the mail
show up every month?
Is it in your name?
Yeah, well, no, like it's like a sheet. They just like show up.
Oh, sure. It's not like an actual mail. It's like
they don't like
newspaper.
They don't handwrite me a fucking Burger King letter. It's like, thank you for being a patron and sending me coupons. No, it's just like a sheet of coupons, and these coupons are fucking crazy, man. Now, the best deal is the biggest deal, but it is 3 Whoppers, 3 cheeseburgers, and 3 fries for like $17.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not joking you. And I've gotten that thing probably 4 times since I've moved here, because it's just such a good deal, and that lasts me like 3 days.
Like, I was gonna say you just eat it over a couple of days, or
and let me tell you, a reheated Burger King Whopper, like cut that shit in half, put it in the microwave for like 20 seconds. That's just fucking gas. And I love me a goddamn Whopper. I like the little bit of mayo on it. They're a little bit bigger. That the buns are a little bit flatter. Especially for that price. What can go wrong? Maybe I'll go get Burger King right now. Just fucking. I'm
not dissing Burger King. I would love. I've always fantasized about Burger King. You know, I dream about it. No, but I have not had it since I was probably 9 or 10. Sure. So I often think about, whenever I'm talking about fast food with friends or something, I'm just like, man, I should just try Burger King again just to see, because people always say, people say it's shit. People say Burger King is not good. Now,
I'm also the biggest Final Fantasy 16 fan, you know. So
true.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Okay.
I haven't beaten Xenoblade 3.
to put it into comparison, how do you feel about like a McDouble or like a quarter pounder? Because I do not like McDonald's burgers. I don't think they're good.
Oh, they're totally passable. Like I don't Jones.
I'm not gonna buy them. If I get one for free, I will eat it. And like it's
McDonald's
fine.
Fries though.
Oh.
And you know what? Actually, the best McDonald's item. Say it with me. Hash brown. Those McDonald's hash browns are a fucking religious experience, man.
Well, I would say their Egg McMuffins are top tier. Sausage Egg McMuffin, nothing better. That is like what.
Maybe I'll go get a hash brown.
I am so sad that they got rid of the all day breakfast when COVID happened.
Bo, I'm gonna weigh fucking 15 more pounds by the time I show back here.
Good. Good.
Put some meat on these bones. Look at these fucking skinny ass arms.
You
can see my fucking bones popping out of there. I need some. This boy needs some McDonald's. This boy needs a.
I need your metabolism.
Anything else?
Food. What else? I was gonna say.
I had questions, but we can talk more about food.
Well, we haven't. Well, yeah, I'm thinking about food now, but I just wanted to mention. Shout out. I don't think I would ever pay for Arby's. But I remember when I was working at Walmart, I think it was just like during COVID, they were just like, listen, guys, you guys are getting fucked. We're going to get you some Arby's. They put, I shit you not, probably 500 Arby's roast beef sandwiches in our break room. Tucker, I probably ate 7 during my shift.
Holy shit.
And I would never pay for Arby's, but man. Dude, I could not believe it.
Free food tastes so much better.
Exactly.
Sometimes when I worked at the library, they'd have catering occasionally for events, and they'd be like, "Yeah, we've got plenty of food left over," and it'd be like shitty fucking whatever. And
you're gonna take it
so much that I'm like, "Oh god, it's."
This is why I could never work fast food. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a saint. I worked fucking meat and produce. I would sit in the back of the produce back room and eat grapes.
Sure.
That was good. Sometimes it's a good looking banana. I was like, all right, I'll just eat a banana. I'll just.
That's a healthy choice, though.
They're not paying me enough for this shit.
Yeah.
But no, I remember those Arby's. Walmart gets a lot of shit, you know what? But they actually did pretty frequently give us just a lot of food. I remember like I first started, they were just it was actually Domino's. My assistant manager was just like, hey, can you help me carry these pizzas in? And it was a lot of pizzas. I mean, it was for the entire store, and my store had 300 employees. So
damn.
Now that's a total. That's not obviously all shit clocking at once.
Okay.
But, yeah. They would just like he would just like bring a girl sometimes to the back of the Walmart and just grill up some steaks and shit for like.
I thought you said a girl. I thought he's.
No.
He just bring his wife or his girlfriend.
He would just bring his wife,
there, make some burgers.
Well, actually, sometimes he would have his family there, and he would just be cooking shit in the back for us, just grilling it up, and just be like, "Hey guys," and it would be specifically because he was over meat and produce.
Sure.
Good guy. I liked him. Walmart. For the love of God, I would never work there again. But you know what?
There are some good memories. It sounds
whenever
like.
I got free food, I liked it.
Yeah. Free food makes everything better. But I'm about to go to a wedding and then a family reunion. I'm going to be eating so much free food, it's not even going to be fucking funny. I was actually thinking about that today because the other day, one of my roommates made curry. And for some reason, when someone else makes me food, it tastes so much fucking better. I swear to God, this curry was the best thing I ever had in my entire fucking life. I was like, oh. That's not a joke. You can ask Tanner. I was actually like making fucking anime moaning sex sounds.
What did you do with that spaghetti? You put your spaghetti sauce in your salad?
No. I didn't do anything with the curry. I was just eating it normal. But then I was thinking like, God damn, it's so much better when someone else makes me food. And then I'm like, wait, in a week, I'm gonna be eating basically only food that other people made. Oh, I'm so tired of making my own fucking sandwiches and fucking frozen chicken nuggets and stuff.
That's such a pain in the ass putting the nuggets in the oven.
I'm tired of it.
I won't lie. Yes.
Oh, and then I'm gonna be home and my dad, my mom, my brother make me food. Oh God.
Like, listen, like if my girlfriend, she cooks dinner every night.
It's gonna be like a whole month of not having to make my own
fantastic.
food. Oh.
But even if it's just something simple, like she makes me a fucking bologna sandwich with like a piece of cheese and like mayonnaise, I'm just like, oh, I didn't make this. I didn't have to stand up. Thank you.
Hey, you motherfucker. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's not hard to make my own food.
Exactly. No, I was agreeing. I was like, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it's no matter what. Even if it's like a fucking microwave hot pocket, it's like, oh my God, I didn't.
I'm gonna start writing down the meals that I eat while I'm traveling, and when we every episode I'll come back and be like, guys, look, this is what I fucking had. Oh. God.
This is actually we can do a food podcast.
Foodcast, yeah.
Foodcast. We do have one final question to get into.
It's about video games. Unfortunate.
Benpai, come at us with a food question next week, man. Come on.
Thank you to Benpai and King Dilly, our most consistent motherfuckers.
Yes, thank you. Like
and Benpai, I also respect a lot because Benpai will talk about the podcast in the Discord. Like, reply to some things that we've been talking about.
Yeah, join the Discord also if we have not.
It's never good takes, but he does it, so I respect it.
I saw some big fucking manifesto about Pokemon. He's a Gen 1 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Out of pocket. But also, I know the Benpai is, I think, is like late 20s. If you're listening,
basically a boomer at this point.
If you made it this far, Benpai, let me know. What are your thoughts on Zelda 1? Can we team up on Tucker? Because I feel like
most people like Zelda 1.
Okay, but like they don't like defend it. If I can get like someone in my corner defending Zelda 1 with me, like, I'm not gonna do it alone. I don't care enough.
You want to do go on the BLB server? I'm not. I hate to give you ideas, but Brogan Chatton and Brendan Hess both have it among their favorite games of all time.
Okay.
So you're our friends in your corner. I don't know anyone else who doesn't like the game.
I don't know anybody that's like specifically like I love Zelda 1. They're just like, yeah, it's Zelda 1. It's Zelda
Brendan.
1. Yeah.
Bro and Brendan. So you gotta go to them.
Anyway, Benpai asked, do you guys have any video game-based traditions? For example, I 100% Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage every year during the summertime. I don't have anything specific that I'm like consistent with. I like to play Luigi's Mansion once a year, and typically that would be around Halloween. This year I was a little late. I did it around Christmas time, actually. And I usually play Mario 64 once a year, but it's not like a specific, like, okay, I'm doing this because of a holiday or... Sure. It's the summer season. I know some people like do Sunshine during the summer or Splatoon during the summer, but I'm not consistent enough, and I play too many games to replay like long games that frequently. I would say the closest is definitely Luigi's Mansion though. Around Halloween is my goal because that game's short and I like it so much. You know?
Yeah. Now this is actually something interesting that I can't relate to at all because I don't replay games just in general. I mean, the closest that I'll get. Is over the course of my life, I've played through a couple of Pokemon games multiple times, but mostly that was when I was younger and didn't have access to many games. I've replayed Mario Odyssey, but that's like really one of the only examples. Though, I think the closest thing that I have to a tradition, quote unquote, is I'd say like biannual at this point, Minecraft server with my friends.
Oh, sure.
Because, you know, the boys just sometimes like,
every once in a
forever
while.
Since we've made Minecraft, and someone starts a server, and I think it's hilarious that so many people have this exact experience. I hear this reference constantly online. It's like, you and your friends, you're on there, you're on your Discord call, you're on until 3 a.m., someone's building this crazy thing, someone griefs over there, you do it for a week, and then you stop.
Yep.
And no one fucking touches it.
I haven't played Minecraft since like 2017, but that was my exact experience. Me and my friend Chance, we just fucking went hard on Minecraft for Switch when it came out. Like we played it, like we were up until 5 a.m. for like a week, just grinding it out.
God,
then I haven't played it since.
What is it about Minecraft? I mean, I would contend, and maybe this is a bigger thing, but like I think Minecraft is one of, if not the best game ever made.
Oh, I think it's definitely one of the greatest, definitely the most important games ever made.
Yeah, but I mean, just
it
like something about it
pretty quickly
gets in your mind though.
Yeah.
And like I remember when I made in BLB times, I've made a server and I played with a couple people and I was on there and I remember like I was sitting right here. I was playing Minecraft and I fucking looked up and it was like 3:30 in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Like I haven't gotten super into Minecraft in like 2 or 3 years at that point, but Jesus Christ, the biannual Minecraft server is something special, and maybe I gotta do that again sometime soon.
This is why games like Stardew Valley and Story of Seasons are dangerous for me, and it's why I'm glad I can't typically get into them very quickly. They eat your time and you don't realize it.
Oh,
like
so
I remember playing.
I've done some fucking Stardew in my day.
I never got super into Stardew Valley. I think the last game like that wasn't Minecraft I got really into. There was a game called Forager, but that had like some combat stuff, so I wouldn't really count that on Switch. But then before that, I think it was Harvest Moon: A Tale of Two Towns on 3DS, where I probably put fucking 80 hours in that just when I was like 13. Just those games can eat your time, and I want to play them more, but also I'm glad that it takes time to get into them because they release so goddamn many of them.
How much Stardew Valley have you played?
Oh, I maybe played for 5 hours with my girlfriend. Like, we didn't get too deep into it.
Yeah.
I'm
a big Stardew guy.
I don't have anything against pixel art or anything, and the mechanics are fine. I prefer games like that to look a little different. Like 3D models. Not that Minecraft looks... I mean, it's fucking Minecraft, but you know what I'm saying.
It's 3D models.
I also like romancing people in Harvest Moon. Which, I mean, Stardew Valley has.
It does have, yeah.
But, I don't know. It was always easier.
It's a very robust romance system.
Yeah. There was one girl in Stardew Valley who was just a bitch. I don't know who it was. I don't know if that like rings any bells.
Was it the blonde one, Haley?
Yeah, it's probably Haley.
Yeah. I'm a big Leah guy. I know people are Abigail.
No, actually Leah, that's who I went for. Yeah. When I played
she lives out in the woods. She likes a nice salad. You got Abigail. You bring her an amethyst and she eats it, and you're like, what the fuck?
Does she really?
That's a classic Stardew Valley meme. Because it's like when you bring people a gift, like sometimes I'll like do a little sound effect if it's one of the or a little text bubble if it's one of their favorite things. One of Abigail's favorite things is amethysts, and for some reason when you give her an amethyst, it's like that was delicious. Like,
they ever fix that, or did it just keep it like that?
I think it's still there as far as I know.
That's hilarious.
It's a huge fucking meme. Stardew Valley is one of my favorite games of all time. You fucking turn on that soundtrack, you fucking play Springtime. Jesus. And I also think
Harvest Moon Magical Melody on GameCube is my most played Harvest Moon game. That shit growing up, bro. The music, ooh. I don't even know if it was a good game. I haven't played it since I was a kid, but that game was awesome as a kid.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned Pokemon though. It's not like a specific tradition for me. Back to the question. But Pokemon comes out in November, so I'm usually playing that around Thanksgiving time.
Yeah.
Specifically, like back in the 3DS era, just playing. I specifically remember 2016 Sun and Moon. I had gotten a new 3DS for Black Friday that year. It's when they had like the $100 one for a really good deal. So I had 2 3DSs. I remember just people, football is on, watching football, dinner's cooking, shiny hunting the Ultra Beasts.
Sure.
Or some shit. 1, 2 3DSs. That was very nice. And also, I always had like a mid-year Pokemon phase. And it didn't happen this year because I think I got burned out last year with Scarlet and Violet.
Sure.
But
there was 2 games last year.
Well, not that specifically though. Like normally in terms of game burnout, but normally like you get the November release, and then around this time, May to like July, I just go crazy and I'm like, I need to fucking play Pokemon again.
Yeah.
So I normally like will replay one. I think last year there was too much, but in 2021 before Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl came out, I think I replayed X.
Sure.
Yeah, great game.
God damn.
I love replaying Pokemon games.
So you're wrong about Gen 6.
Really, just Gen 5 through 7. Just I just want to replay those. Yeah. Oh, you know what? In 2021, I also replayed Shield like twice because I was streaming it, and I replayed it.
That's
and
crazy.
then I tried doing a Snom only run for a video.
What the fuck is Snob only?
Snom?
Snob. I think you said Snob. I know.
No, Snom.
Bo, I got
to like the 4th gym only using Snom, Tucker.
Wait, I thought Snom was only available in like the late game.
I bred it in Sword. And then I bred for a shiny one in Sword and traded it. But that's where I fucked up. Because if it's not yours, they don't trust you.
Yeah.
So it just kept struggling against the trainers.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pokemon, I would say like that's just like the general vibes of like the holiday season for me.
Yeah, no, that's actually very interesting. I never really drew that connection, but I mean, it just is true. Other than Legends Arceus, every Switch era game has released in October and November, and
every 3DS game was in October, November.
yeah. So I guess that is kind of a. I mean, I didn't play Ultra Sun and Moon when it came out, but every other one since then, I've played it. Of course, I've played them as soon as they come out. So, especially I think for me, it's playing them with my brother because my brother's very into Pokemon. He's a very big Nuzlocke guy.
Sure.
And especially in the 3DS era with my friends, the tradition, I guess, it was, I guess, yearly at that point, with Sun and Moon and Oras and all of that, was just all going to GameStop at the same time, picking up our copies, having a super late night sleepover where we make our characters and we compare what we've caught. And oh man, those are some of my fucking best gaming memories. Holy shit. God dang.
I guess a similar experience, and this actually is consistently every year, is Call of Duty. It's, you know, I'm a sicko for The Walking Dead. It's kind of a similar situation where like all my friends and family members that play Call of Duty has just moved on past it while I still play it every year. Same with Walking Dead. I still watch it. Are you watching
the new season show?
I'm not. I have not. Dead City. It's Maggie and Negan. I have not started that. I don't want to fucking pay for AMC Plus. Fuck that. I will eventually.
Oh, you can find it online. Of course you can.
Well, of course, but I don't like doing that. Eventually, I'll just pay for AMC Plus around the time because they're doing this Daryl Dixon show. They're doing this Rick and Michonne show. They're just going crazy with it. It's stupid. It's so stupid. But anyway,
I'm still watching this shit. I don't know.
Actually, I think not to talk about Walking Dead too much. I think Dead City had like over 1 million viewers, which is crazy to me. Who the fuck's watching The Walking Dead Dead City? It's so weird. But Call of Duty every year. I didn't get to do this last year because I was visiting family, but release night playing with whatever group of friends is currently playing that game. Usually people drop off, like as I was saying, but staying up, get those double XP codes, maybe some Mountain Dew codes. Tucker, been doing a lot of like pizza roll codes recently. I don't like pizza rolls, but
you don't.
I don't.
What the fuck's wrong with the pizza roll?
No, they're fine. I'm not gonna buy them just for the code though.
Sure.
I will make a pointed effort to buy a Mountain Dew Code Red if it has Call of Duty on it. You know. But yeah, every year Call of Duty, October, November, similar. Not like that. By the time Thanksgiving and Christmas gets around, I'm normally like dropped off it for a little bit and then I come back to it later in the year. But yeah, Call of Duty, I'd say that's a yearly tradition, just by proxy of it releasing every year.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, do you have any final thoughts, Tucker, before we wrap this up here? I'm starving. I have not eaten today.
Bo, 1 week from Pikmin 4. Exactly 1 week.
That is true.
That's insane.
More importantly, we're like 24 hours away from us playing Exoprimal.
Exoprimal, God, this is a fucking stacked week. Exoprimal, for me, I'm getting Viewfinder fucking day one.
Oh, that's this week? Oh. Yeah. Is that going to be on PS Plus, please?
No.
It
might eventually.
Can it be on PS Plus day one so I can play it?
No.
What day does that come out? Tuesday, probably?
Yeah, it comes out Tuesday.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I
think I'm going to have to get it on Steam, play it on my Steam Deck, because I'm going to be traveling very soon after. And I don't think I can beat that game.
Man, you were saying you don't travel very often. I swear to God, you're traveling every week since we started this podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
You travel a lot. You travel a lot. You travel a lot.
August, for some reason, has always been like a big travel month for me. Like last year, I was end of July into August. I was traveling the whole time. I was in Austin, New York, LA, and Nebraska within like 1 month. And this time, I'm gonna be in Texas, Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, and New York.
Well, then in early September, you're coming to Washington.
Oh, that's a great point. So within like a 6 week time span, I'll have got to fucking 6 states. So maybe I do travel a lot.
I fly like once a year, and it's just to go visit family. That's the only every time I ever fly. I go on vacation more.
Yeah.
Because my annual vacation is just I go visit my family. That's my trip every year.
Yeah.
So I should go to Florida. I should go to Hollywood. I should go to Austin. Get the what's it called?
Home slice, and you better not forget it.
I should go to the Super Nintendo World. That's what I should do.
You should. Sounds like someone's ready for us to finish this podcast. She won't stop screaming.
Yeah, that cat must be hungry. Of course, subscribe here for Nintendo Select Podcast, episode 13 coming next week, next Friday. We will not have Pikmin 4 thoughts until the following week because it comes out like right when we record. But you'll have thoughts on that soon. And follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that stuff. Follow Tucker over on Twitter, Tucker Hazel, Backlog Banter, Backlot Banter for movies.
Yeah.
You post your indie review yet? probably.
Oh, Indiana Jones? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, not a good movie.
Oh, fantastic.
We posted our Mission Impossible. That's a good movie.
Okay, nice.
Insidious the Red Door? Terrible movie. Fucking awful, god-awful fucking movie. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if it's a new trailer, but I saw there was a trailer for the new Haunted Mansion that I did not know they were making until today.
That's coming out in a month.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed. But I saw someone in the comments who was like, "Do you guys?" I don't know if they were being serious. They were like, "Do you guys think this movie's gonna be scarier than the original?" And I was like, "You realize it's Haunted fucking Mansion? It's a comedy movie. Are you fucking stupid?"
I know we say 1 week till Pikmin 4, but also 1 week until Barbenheimer.
Yes, I rarely see movies on day one. I really want to go see Oppenheimer. I don't know if I'll do it that day, but I really want to see that. And I might have to do it. I might just have to do the back-to-back double feature and see Barbie. Because as someone who doesn't really follow the movie industry that much, it seems like it's getting like really good reviews, right? Like people seem to like really like Barbie.
Well, the
what I've heard,
premiere happened, and the premiere I think had positive reviews. But the review embargo was supposed to happen about 5 hours ago. But then they pushed it until 2 days before the movie came out, which is could either be a bad sign or because of SAG, the SAG strike. They need to fuck it with it.
That just happened today. Yeah.
Or it's a bad sign, which happens with games.
It looks like it has like great costume design and set dressing, but also it doesn't look like a movie that should be good. That movie does not look like it should be a good movie. We'll see.
1 week.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
Barbenheimer.
Yeah, for Pikmin. Absolutely.
You got Pikmin. Yeah. Have you seen all the? Have you seen all the fucking people that? I guess you can like pay for 40 seconds of like or 15 seconds of like ad space in Times Square. People keep posting like. I'll send you a link. People keep posting like gifs of Olimar like posted up, or like Pikmin, or like the Bulbman. They're just like
really?
The cat. Yeah, I guess you can just pay like have your shit on some big screen in Times Square. Dangerous.
Like a bad idea. Yeah.
Exactly, but people keep posting. There was, you know what the Bulbman looks like, right?
Yeah.
It's the Bulbor, but apparently there was like a really like love like heartfelt like happy birthday message, Bulbman for 15 seconds, and then another like happy birthday message. I want to be in Times Square because people are just going crazy with it now. I'll just leave a link.
That's great.
It's incredible. But let's get out of here, Tucker. Let's go get some food, play some games.
Hot dogs, pizza,
hot
burgers,
dogs,
Whoppers. Go get a Whopper.
People. I should go get a Whopper. All right. See you guys.
Bye.